The following program contains a topic which may not be suitable for young viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Tonight, United Boxing Promotions is back in Barrie with a championship doubleheader. Barrie's own Marvelous Mark Smither versus Jose Jasso for the IBO America's Super Lightweight title. Josh, the Boss Wagner versus Williams Herrera for the IBO America's Welterweight title. Hammertown's Josh Dubs O'Reilly. Plus, the return of undefeated phenom Joshua Hellraiser Fraser. And Collingwood's Cody Kelly versus Gisu Lee.
There's a few shots landed by Cody Kelly. And that is it in round 2.
It all goes down tonight in Barrie at the Sadlon Arena.
Ontario, Canada is where the lights shine brightest tonight as Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions presents a night of championship fights live from the Sadlon Arena in Barrie, Ontario. Hello everyone, Shane Hollinshead alongside former world title challenger Tony Lightning Lewis. 6 fights on the card tonight, a championship doubleheader. And Tony, let's jump right into the main event. IBO America's Super Lightweight title is on the line. Barrie's own Marvelous Mark Smither taking on Jose Herrera Jasso. A childhood dream come through truth tonight for Smither, fighting in his hometown, fighting for a title. An exciting night, but with excitement comes pressure.
And with that pressure has got to come some composure and self-control, and Smither tonight has got to remember who he is, tune out that crowd, tune out all the hype, and just focus on the task at hand and remember who he is and what he's good at. And his identity is he is at his best, on his best day, a master distance textbook boxer. Maintain that distance, use your height and reach advantages, keep the opponent at the end of your jab, circle. Don't worry about the knockout. If the knockout comes, it comes. Just do your thing, be yourself, and his opponent's going to do everything he can to take Smither out of his comfort zone, turn into a grappling match with roughhouse tactics. And we saw Smither struggle with that a little bit in his last fight where he fought his opponent's fight at spots during that fight. So we're looking to see if tonight Smither can show some improvement, bouncing back from that last fight, and that he can show that he can neutralize some of those roughhouse tactics inside and get back to boxing.
Co-main event of the evening, the IBO America's Welterweight title is on the line. Josh the Boss Wagner taking on Williams Herrera, 2 fighters with rocket ships strapped to their back, a combined record 30 wins, just 1 defeat. And Tony, you had a word tonight that could describe Josh Wagner.
Nervy. My word of the night for Josh is nervy. And what I mean by nervy is he's always a guy in previous fights who always seems on edge. He always seems on edge. He's high strung. He fights with a lot of fire, a strong temperament. Some of that fire is good, but if that fire is not controlled, then it can turn into like these wildfires we've been getting throughout the country, and that's no good for anybody. So I want to see Josh tonight control his emotions a little bit. He's got a guy in front of him tonight who's going to look to push him and force him to get into firefights and throw him off his game and rattle him. But to me, unless you're a guy who scores a bunch of big knockouts early, on a consistent, regular basis, that's fine. But having a mindset like Josh's where you're not a knockout artist, that can burn you out in a long fight. So I want to see Josh. Typically, he's a guy who goes some rounds before he takes a few rounds before he breaks his opponent down. I don't want to see him burn out. So I want to see him tonight find that healthy mix between being intense and just having some fun.
6 fights on the card tonight, a championship doubleheader. Why wait any longer? Let's toss it up to ring announcer Carlos Verde to introduce our first fight of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, this opening bout of the evening slated for 4 rounds in the super middleweight division, presented by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions, in addition to presenting sponsor Engel Custom Homes. Your 3 judges seated at ringside, scoring all 4 of our undercard contests this evening: Deborah Wong, Jasper Kajavsky, and Martin DeLita. When the punches fly inside the squared circle, the third man in charge, your referee, the veteran, Mr. David Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the black with the green and gold of his native homeland. He scaled 167 1/4 pounds tonight, his 9th fight as a professional. From Kingston, Jamaica, here is Gregory Killa Miller. And now introducing his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black with the lime green trim. He scaled 166 pounds even. Tonight, his professional debut. From Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada, here is Dan Almeida. Referee David Dunbar with your final instructions.
Gentlemen, we went through the rules earlier in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. There and there, the belt lines above that will be considered good blows. Are there any questions from the corners? Touch gloves now. Come out to the bell. Good luck to you both, gentlemen.
Set to get underway here tonight, the first of 6 fights. This one taking place in the super middleweight division, 4 rounds. Gregory Killer Miller versus Dan Almeida. Almeida's pro boxing debut here tonight.
Well, what I know about Miller is, like I said earlier, he can surprise you on the right night. He's a tough journeyman who always comes to fight. Almeida is the mystery for me tonight. I couldn't find any footage of him. I do know that he had a handful of amateur fights, and he's been a long-time protege of Cody Kelly's, who we're going to see later tonight. But other than that, I'm going to learn as I go about Almeida.
Well, interesting dynamic. If you couldn't find footage of him, I wonder if Gregory Miller and his camp could find footage of him. Pro debut, not a lot of tape to go by.
That's when you need intel sometimes. You got to have a guy, a spy in camp. They used to do that in the old days.
You mentioned protege of Cody Kelly fighting later on tonight's card. Trains at his Twin Boxing Academy, does Dan Almeida. Nice head movement there from Almeida to elude the left jab of Miller.
As long as he moves that head when he needs to, because when I'm seeing when there's no punches being thrown, he kind of stands in the center line with his head up, a little stationary in the line of fire. I'd like to see him for a little bit more upper body movement when he's setting up his attacks.
Veteran official Dave Dunbar in the squared circle with the 2 fighters here tonight, and I know you've raved about his abilities in the rings to just let the fighters figure it out, and we see there
absolutely
fighters in tight, and he lets them fight it out.
A good referee is heard but not seen.
Overhand right there from Almeida, tries to follow up, but Miller's able to shell up and protect most of those blows from landing.
Slow pace this first round. Both guys nobody's really been touched with anything significant just yet. Almeida's trying to make something happen, but Miller's just trying to get his timing down and figure out his rhythm while he's defending.
Nice rip around the guard of the body there and follows it up again.
Yeah.
Now the pace starting to pick up for Almeida. Just a 4-round fight here in the super middleweight division, so not a lot of time to be wasted.
All right, there you see it.
Left hand and another from Miller.
Looking with that overhand, and because Almeida's there for it. Like I said, he keeps his head up high, stationary in the punching zone like that. At the minimum, keep that hand up. Oh, Miller's coming close there. He's zoning in on that cross.
Opening round in the books. Started a little slow, but pace certainly picked up the second half of that opening round.
Yeah, tough round to call. Almeida seemed to carry the pace for the majority of the round, but that last 30 seconds to a minute is when Miller started finding his range and trying to let his hands go more towards the end of the round.
Some big left hands down the stretch. Final minute, 45 seconds or so of that opening round from Miller. There we see over and over again the left hand.
Nothing significant landed, but it's the type of thing though where as the fight wears on, I know it's only a 4-rounder, but where when fatigue sets in a little bit, those punches can start making contact. Again, I think Miller's work rate carried the day in that round. Or Almeida's work rate, Almeida's work rate carried the day in that round, but I think Miller was starting to get his timing towards the end of that round.
Got to look at Ricardo Big 12 Brown in the corner of Gregory Killer Miller.
Big 12.
Always puts on a show when he steps in the ring for Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions, but in the corner tonight for Miller. Round 2 now underway.
Now we're seeing Miller's taking a little bit more initiative now in the second round. Come up to the center of the ring, work up, establishing his jab. He's really looking to launch that left cross off. Oh, nice right hand though by Almeida.
Quick punch there on the right from Almeida. Perhaps not expecting that. Miller's been loading up on the left hands. A right from Almeida.
But if I'm Almeida though, I mean, Miller's looking to launch that left hand, and Almeida is circling to the right. Usually bad news against the southpaw. You want to circle to the left away from the southpaw's power hand. But right now he's circling right into that left hand. Once Miller decides to throw it, he's there in position to get hit with it.
Nice step in right. Short right hand from Almeida as now Miller starts firing back. Left hook just misses the chin of Almeida, gets his head out of the way just in time.
Well, it's, you know, what I'm seeing so far is Miller's looking to find in spots and find pockets where he can land some big shots. And he hasn't found the target just yet. He's come close, but in between those spots where he fires, Almeida is outworking him and letting his activity carry the fight. Just putting together shots, punches and punches, constantly touching him, just giving Miller something to defend and keep him just enough out of position where he can, where it gives the idea that Almeida's in control.
Level change there from Miller, and now
nice
he
right
eats a
hook.
solid right hook.
He switches. He'll switch mid-attack. And has found him success so far in the early going. And what I would like to see Almeida do a little bit more now, just to add to what he's doing, is, you know, sometimes start your work downstairs. You know, Miller's looking to move that head and dip under and come up with a big left hand. Start your work downstairs, then work your way up to the head.
These two fighters start to exchange. There's a good right hand by Almeida. Miller continuing to load up on the left. Almeida seems to start to be able to get a better read on that left hand. Stiff left jab there.
Body. That's where Almeida's got to work the body. When he gets inside and Miller dips and he bumps him with that shoulder, that's when he's got to take a half step back and start banging that body.
Final 10 seconds in an entertaining second round. Lots of blows landed in this second of 4 rounds. Almeida looks to close with a bang. Miller throws back. Bell sounds halfway through this fight. 2 rounds in the books.
You know, another we're seeing here is Miller knows that Almeida's got a habit of pulling straight back, and he stands up high in the punching range. But so far, with, you know, those 41-year-old reflexes are not. He's trying to catch Almeida when he pulls back, and he can't quite catch him in time where he can touch the target. But he knows he's got to catch him as he's pulling back, and right now his reflexes haven't been able to time Almeida just yet. But in the interim, when you keep trying to time for that big shot and you keep missing and hitting air, especially at 41 years of age, that's tiring on the body, where you waste more energy hitting air than you do when you make contact.
Right. Almeida seems to have found a bit of a home for an uppercut as well with the level changes of Miller. Every time Miller tries to level change, gets that head really low waist level, Almeida seems to have picked up on that and started to launch some uppercuts his way.
Well, I think what's worked best for Miller so far, for Almeida, is the blueprint is just stay busy, punch in 2s and 3s, keep touching, keep something on him, but then move out to the side. Don't pull straight back. Move that head like he's doing, and come back, close the gap, and put your punches in bunches.
Beautiful head movement there from Almeida. Had a wry smile on his face after he eluded 3 or 4 big shots from Miller.
See right there, though, when you get caught smothered, just take a little half step back like that and just work. A little half step back, create some room, and then let shots go. They don't have to be hard. Little short shots will set up the big shots.
Miller pushes Almeida back up against the ropes, now into the corner, unleashes the left hand. Glancing blow. Almeida returns fire.
We've seen Miller do this before, though, where he'll switch up halfway through the fight and close the gap for he's looking to time you for big shots on the outside. If that doesn't work, he comes inside on you and smothers the range and turns it into a dogfight.
Short uppercut knocks the mouthpiece out of Miller.
That uppercut you were talking about, Shane.
Dunbar, referee Dave Dunbar has a look at it.
He's letting them fight.
Dunbar jumps in the middle, has to get the mouthpiece back in for Miller, but that level change followed by the uppercut of Almeida has been there for the first 2 rounds, and he's exploiting it more and more as these rounds have progressed. Huge left hand, just misses.
Close.
Almeida gets out of range. Fighting in tight.
Well, this is where Miller shows where he's that spoiler, grizzled journeyman. You know, if plan A doesn't work, I'll get inside and tie you up, hit you behind the head, punch you on the hips, do things to rattle you and throw you off your game, get you to do something out of character, and then capitalize on that.
Big left hand there for Miller. That's been his go-to punch in this fight.
Just can't find that sweet spot just yet. He's coming close.
A lot more in close boxing here in the final half of this 3rd round.
Well, what he's found a way to do is he hasn't upped his offense, but he's found a way. Oh, another nice uppercut. That's Almeida's shot right there. When he's got some room, he can land that shot. And Miller feeling those uppercuts could be why he's been trying to smother Almeida this round and neutralize his offenses. He's not liking those uppercuts from the mid-range.
And followed by an uppercut, final 10 seconds. Almeida looking to close strong. Miller fires back, and again, Almeida jumping out of the way. Bell goes. 3 rounds in the books. Strong round there for Dan Almeida, highlighted by a vicious uppercut that popped the mouthpiece out of Gregory Miller's mouth. Lots of punches being exchanged in that 3rd round, and there's the head movement. That's what drew the smile from Almeida here. A wry smile, beautiful head movement. That has to feel good when your opponent swings 5-6 times and doesn't connect once. There's a short left as Miller seemed to get in tight a little more often in that 3rd round, and Dan Almeida off the stool early, trying to get the crowd fired up. He's ready to go. 4th and final round in this super middleweight bout. Pro debut for Dan Almeida. Looking to make it a successful one against Gregory Killer Miller.
What this fight has evolved into is that whenever there's a little bit of distance between the two, Almeida is able to find openings to land the more significant shots and carry the fight. But Miller manages to spoil sometimes when he's able to close the gap and make it into a more dirty, wily fight. He can find ways to, I don't know if he's doing enough to win, but doing enough to at least try to frustrate Almeida and get him off his game, doing things like this. But see, Almeida, he doesn't have to stop and complain to the ref. He can step back and pivot around. Whenever Miller dips down like that and gets up on his chest, take a step back and move around to the side, then punch again.
Nice guard there from Miller, blocks the right hands of Almeida, who continues to throw uppercut once again. And again, that one perhaps more of a glancing blow. Now Miller starts to fire back.
He tries to lull Almeida to sleep. You know, he'll let a couple, 2-3 attacks that he defends go unanswered. Then out of nowhere, he'll try to explode with some overhands like that. So far, he hasn't been able to catch Almeida, pulling out almost punching opportunities, but he's trying.
Nice read there from Almeida, sensing when Miller would explode from his shelled up position. Nice short left there from Almeida as well.
Oh, there it is.
There from Miller, the best shot of his fight.
Finally landed. Almeida smiling and laughing and looking to get payback.
Big right. Fighters continue to throw back and forth. What an opening bout of the night. 6 fights on the card here tonight. This first one has certainly set the table for the rest. Cut just misses. Final minute, fourth and final round. Who will finish strong and try to leave an impression in this fourth round that might still be up in the air on the judges' scorecards?
I mean, Miller was looking for that big left hand for 4 rounds. He found it in the fourth, this last round. I don't know if it's going to be enough to win him the fight. But Almeida, for the most part, his work rate has been dictating the fight, and he's been the more active fighter in there. But he's got some homework to do whenever he goes back to the gym.
Pro debut, lots to still be learned, I'm sure, and lots that he can take out of this fight. Final 15 seconds of this fourth round. A strong pro debut for Wasaga Beach's Dan Almeida. Ducks the left hand of Miller. Final few seconds ticking away. Left hand from Almeida. Blocks the punch from Miller, and that will do it. The fighters embrace in the center of the ring. A strong pro debut for Dan Almeida. Story of the fight for you, Tony, maybe the left hand of Killer Miller never really finding that home, and perhaps the adjustments as well of Almeida being able to read and react, finding a home for that uppercut throughout the 4 rounds as well.
And Miller's left hand only found the mark once in that 4th round, and what we finally saw when he did land it was just a chuckle and a smile from Almeida. But from Almeida moving forward, though, he got caught with that left hand because of habits he was exhibiting, and you can't be pulling out straight back and keeping your head up in the line of fire, stationary in the punching zone. He's got to work on keeping his chin down, bend those knees, get out low whenever you're done attacking. When you move out to defend, step out to the side, a little bit more lateral motion, keep that head down, so you're not there for counters whenever you're done throwing.
We can certainly say both of these fighters came to fight in this opening bout. 6 fights on the card, a championship doubleheader, and fight number 1 of this evening is one that has delivered. As we await the judges' scorecards.
And a successful pro debut, we're likely for Almeida, but an educational one at the same time.
Lots of tape now to be able to review, lots of things to take back to the drawing board, things to learn, things to take back into the gym and build upon for his next fight. But for a pro debut, very impressive for Dan Almeida. Take a look at some of the highlights. Almeida, the aggressor for a lot of the fight.
Yeah.
You mentioned it during the fight. Miller would shell up a little bit, wait for that moment to uncoil, and perhaps after trying to lull Almeida into a sense of security, then unleash. Never could quite find the home, though, for the power left hand.
Exactly.
Send it up to Carlos Verde for the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, an entertaining 4-round bout in our opening attraction. First off, a nice round for Dan Almeida and Gregory Miller. After 4 rounds in the super middleweight division, we go to the judges' scorecards, where Deborah Wong and Martin Delita both see it 40-36. Jasper Kajavsky sees it 39-37. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision on his debut, Dan Almeida.
A well-earned victory in his first professional fight. 4 rounds in the books, and lots to take away, lots to learn, and nice to get that 1 in the win column.
100%. He's got lots to be proud of, and he gets to walk away with some material to work on when he goes back to the drawing board in the gym.
And that'll feel good. He'll be able to now take back a lot of the things that he learned in this fight. Go back to the gym. Protege of Cody Kelly, who we'll see later on tonight's card, trains at this Twin Boxing Academy. So a successful pro debut. Lots to be happy about, lots to celebrate tonight, and lots to be able to take back to work on and prepare for fight number 2 for Dan Almeida. Well, Tony, the next fight of the night is one that I know I had circled. Josh Hellraiser Frazier steps into the ring against Angel Rosales. And boy, Josh Hellraiser Frazier is certainly a unique fighter, to say the least, in the super welterweight division. 6 foot 3.5, but fighting at 154 pounds. There are not many fighters like Josh Frazier.
No, he's a junior middleweight, 6 foot 3.5, southpaw to boot. Guys aren't gonna want to fight him as he moves to the ladder. I feel bad for his matchmakers trying to find opponents to bring him in.
Let's toss it up to Carlos Verde to introduce our second fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second attraction of the evening, presented by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions in partnership with presenting sponsor Resform Construction. Sanctioned for 6 rounds or less in the super welterweight division. Your referee, the third man inside the squared circle when the punches fly, Mr. Floyd Porter. Introducing first, fighting to my left in the blue corner. He wears the white with black, blanco con negro. He scaled 154 1/4 pounds. His record is a professional. 6 wins against 5 defeats. 3 big wins coming por vía del knockout. De Chalco, en el Estado de México, México. Presentando José Ángel Rosales. And now introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the red corner. He wears the black with the red trim. He weighed in at 155 1/2 pounds, a former Canadian and Jamaican amateur champion. His professional record, a perfect one. 7 fights, 7 victories, including 6 vicious ones by way of knockout. From Brampton, Ontario, Canada, here is Joshua Hellraiser Frazier. With your final instructions, the man in charge, your referee, Mr. Floyd Porter.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the changing room. I expect you to obey those instructions. Listen for my commands at all times. Remember, protect yourselves at all times. Belt lines are good. Touch gloves now. If you wish, go back to your corner, wait for the bell.
6 rounds in the super welterweight division set to get underway. Joshua Hellraiser Frazier taking on Jose Angel Rosales. Frazier, a highly decorated amateur boxer, comes from a boxing family as well. His father, DeWitt Frazier, a Canadian Olympian at the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles. It is in his blood, to say the least.
Well, what I want to see now from Josh tonight, with this eye surgery he had, he was struggling with his long distance vision. So I've noticed in fights before with a guy with his height and dimensions, he always likes to fight in the pocket. Are we going to see him now use that jab and that reach that he has?
Now that he can
see better from further, yeah.
Use that reach.
Or does he just like to mix it up?
We had a chance to catch up with him as he was warming up around the ring an hour or 2 before showtime. Asked him, what do you know about this guy? Your new opponent, it's only been a week, short notice fight. He looked at me, he said, I know he showed up. That's about it, so he's ready to go.
That's the risk when, that on the other, it's always risky for an opponent to come in on short notice, right, with no training camp. But on the other end of it, if he's in shape, you don't know what kind of condition that leg replacement opponent is coming in on the other end. You also don't have time to get ready for him. But this is where amateur credentials come into play. Frazier is a decorated amateur with lots of international experience before he entered the pros. So he's seen all kinds of different styles and been exposed to different cultures and different fighters. So a leg replacement opponent shouldn't rattle him.
Yeah, the international stage experience certainly can help in any adversity that might be thrown your way, and that's some adversity that Joshua Frazier has faced over the past couple of weeks. Wasn't sure who his opponent would be. There's a few different options on the table as well, but it ends up being Angel Rosales, who stands across the ring from him here tonight.
And Rosales is looks pretty solid so far. Good basics, good fundamentals, a solid stance, and Frazier's being patient, sizing him up. He is making an effort to use his jab and employ his reach, and line him up for the cross down the pipe. Off the jab, not rushing in, trying to land big shots. He's not loading up. But he's employing some science and craft to back up his skills and athleticism.
Frazier backs up against the ropes, tries to stay out of range. Now finds a home for the jab. Left hand finds the body.
What Frazier is also very good at is he either employs lateral motion and makes his opponent circle and turn to him when he's not punching, or he'll stand on the spot. But when he's standing on the spot, he's never a statue. He'll move his upper body. Something is always moving. If it's not his feet, it's his upper body. But something's moving, and then he throws like that.
Strong finish to the opening round. Slow start, but the final 10 seconds had more action perhaps than the first 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Bit of a feeling out first round for these two fighters. Nice use there, the length of Frazier.
Well, nothing ever goes unanswered with Josh. Anytime you touch him, there's always something coming back in return. He's always the last one to throw a punch in an exchange. And that happens. He's able to make that happen because he's always in position. He always stays on balance. So he's in position to come back with something.
6 rounds in the super welterweight division. We get set for round number 2. See if things start to open up here a bit in the second round after a bit of a feeling out process in the first round that was capped with a flurry of activity in the final 10 seconds. Touch to start round number 2, and immediately both fighters start to throw. Right to the body from Frazier.
Well, I think part of the challenge here for Frazier tonight is if Rosales did some film study, he may be a little gun shy with Frazier tonight. He's not taking many chances. But when you have a guy who's gun shy, and it presents less openings for you to capitalize on, to find the target. And right now, that's what's happening. He's not giving Frazier too many openings to capitalize on to launch those flashy combos and big shots.
Strong right hand there from Frazier as Rosales enters the pocket. We'll see if perhaps the patience of Rosales forces the hand a bit of Frazier, or if he stays composed and sticks to his game plan as well.
Well, it looks like what Rosales has tried to do is he's tried to make the taller man come to him. Make the taller man come to him, and in doing so, giving up a bit of his height. And he's been able to run Frazier into the jab a couple of times. I mean,
Frazier, right hand there from Frazier.
Yeah, well, Frazier's so athletic. For Rosales, it's going to be hard to land more than 1 or 2 punches at a time. But I like the idea, though. I like the thought process. Make the taller guy come to you and try to get him to overcommit, give up his height, and then you come in with a counter.
Kind of a way to close the range in some respect.
A way to close the range, but making Frazier do the work.
Exactly. Well, the length of Frazier is certainly a strength and something that's not often seen in this super welterweight division. Nice left hand there, finds a home. Stumbles Rosales briefly back.
You know, if Frazier is gonna take the bait and attempt to walk Rosales down and keep coming forward, start banging that body. Start throwing even shots from long range, straights downstairs. You know, take away those flanks. It'll make Rosales a little bit more. It'll slow him down and make his reflexes dull just a little bit when he's looking to land counters. If you start attacking those ribs, those organs, you know, the floating ribs and the liver, the kidneys, if you can sneak one around the elbow like that. Straight left hand there, landing on the ribs.
You're making me feel the pain just sitting next to you, thinking about it.
I love body shots.
They're debilitating. They can be for sure. Final 10 seconds, round number 2. See if a flurry finishes round 2 like it did round 1. No, but more action in round number 2. And Josh Frazier connecting a few times with some solid shots in that second round.
It's a methodical approach tonight that we're seeing from Frazier. Showing a lot of poise. He knows that Rosales is trying to suck him into a big counter and bait him into taking chances. So he's not being reckless, as you're seeing. Takes his time walking him down behind that jab. Always in position to not just throw but defend. And he's not falling for the traps that Rosales is trying to set.
A nice uppercut there, step in uppercut. There was a clubbing right hand earlier as well, the biggest punch of the fight thus far. I think you make a good point, Tony. The patience of Joshua Frazier has been on display here in the first 2 rounds. As we enter the third of 6 rounds here.
That's what we gotta see. More body attack. Oh, there it is. And then the big headshots will come. Then the headshots will come.
Drop the hands with the body shots and attack the head. Now we're opening things up here as Joshua Frazier shows his speed. Rosales just misses with a looping left hand.
He's showing that what Rosales is showing though is, you know, Frazier's trying to put a little bit more heat on him, but Rosales is still capable of touching the target and finding he can still catch Frazier. He can still land some shots and catch Frazier with shots coming in.
Frazier backs Rosales against the ropes, tries to fire back and open up some space. But back up against the ropes goes Rosales. Relentless pursuit from Frazier here, keeping the distance closed.
Well, as things are heating up, what Frazier might start discovering is, you know, if he feels like, if he stops worrying about what's coming back at him on the way in, and he feels like that contact's not going to bother him, then he can just, you know, just come in like a bull through high grass and just start doubling up on his offense.
Right hand tries to find a home around the guard, into the body.
He's got a jab in between. Oh, nice left hand.
Nice left and perhaps smelling blood here. Corner tells him to go. He does.
You don't have to close. Don't have to get so close after you landed that left hand from long. Oh, he hurt him.
Yep, huge uppercut stuns Rosales. Corner of Frazier telling him to go. Perhaps sensing a finish here. Final minute, third round. Head movement now for Frazier as he looks to find an opening.
Rosales taking a big deep breath.
And notice the mouth a little more open for Rosales as he tries to get oxygen into his lungs.
But Frazier can't don't fall in love with trying to find that perfect shot again. It'll land again, but keep doing what you're doing. Touch him, bang that body, and then come up with 2s and 3s to the head. That's how that shot will come again.
Final 20 seconds pushes him back against the ropes.
Get that jab pumping. We talked about this earlier. If Frazier can rediscover his jab, double, triple up on that jab, those big shots will land more consistently.
Oh, huge left to finish the round, right down the middle. That'll be some confidence heading into round number 4 as Josh Frazier really seemed to open up in that round and pick up the intensity, pick up the pace, and pick up the pressure onto Angel Rosales. Huge uppercut there, the left finding a home for Frazier as you could really see the jump in his step as that round continued. Smelled blood in the water, tried to close the distance, tried to find a finish, but that patience maybe will pay off into round number 4. Round 4 of 6. The super welterweight division, a strong round 3 for Joshua Hellraiser Frazier. See See if he looks to keep up the pace to start here, round number 4, and try to keep Angel Rosales on that back foot. Rosales firing back, looking to have any room to breathe. Frazier, though, relentless in his pursuit.
Well, the thing, oh, there it is. And the thing about Frazier is that, you know, he's got the reach, and he knows he extends that left hand and turns that hook over nice from long range. And you think you're safer if you get inside and smother that offense. And oh no, this big tall guy can also work on the inside too, and shovel shots up underneath, ripping those flanks. It's just a good, complete, well-rounded prospect.
7-0 with 6 KOs on the record for Joshua Hellraiser Frazier.
And on paper, that record is it's marketable and it's impressive. But it's gonna, where Frazier's gonna have some challenges moving forward. Nice uppercut.
Huge uppercut, stumbles.
Nice uppercut.
Rosales
Yep.
on wobbly legs now. Still a long way to go, not even halfway through this 4th round. Good job, Rosales just getting out of the way, and again just misses the uppercut. Frazier pushes back and separates, gives himself some space to throw.
Body. Start your attack to the body when you got the guy on the ropes. First thing you guys gonna do when he gets in the ropes, he's gonna put his hands up. Get to the body, the head will open up. There you go. And come up, follow up. Don't get caught in pot shot mode. Put the shots together.
Sticking that jab, follows up with a left-right combination. There's a big shot from Rosales, though, connecting.
That's him just reminding Frazier, hey, I'm still here.
Final minute, round number 4. Frazier continues to stalk his prey, but Rosales has been game, continues to fire back as well.
The thing with Frazier moving forward is, I respect the methodical approach he takes, the way he takes his time dissecting guys, breaking them down. But once you start assuming control of the bout, step it up. Start doubling up on your attacks and coming back for seconds. Change the levels of intensity. Start going to the red zone a little bit. When you got a guy like this where he's, ooh, there we go.
Body head mixing things up here. Final 10 seconds, round number 4. They reach the bell. The confidence seemingly continuing to grow for Josh Frazier with every round that passes by. Get a look at some of the handiwork in round number 4. Josh Frazier picking his spots. And a couple of big shots. That one, right one around the guard into the ear, seemed to put Rosales onto wobbly legs. Nice head movement there from Frazier as well to get out of the way. Four rounds in the books, 2 more to go. Joshua Frazier, Angel Rosales in the super welterweight division. Strong start here for both of these fighters. Huge right hand just misses from Frazier.
I'm almost wondering if Frazier heard what I was saying, because he's coming out strong here, trying to, you know, we're only round 5, but I would like to see Frazier try to, we know he's assumed control of this bout. He's the boss in there. Close the show now. Close the show.
How important is that finish, especially for an undefeated fighter with 7-0 on his card with 6 KOs?
It's important moving forward. Moving forward, as you want to make a case for yourself to move from prospect to contender and put yourself in position for, you know, some national or regional title matches moving forward. Because it shows that you got that killer instinct and the ability to finish an opponent when you have him hurt. Every great fighter had that quality in him. does Frazier have it? He's trying to show it right here.
He has a game opponent across from him, and Rosales is taking some stiff shots and continues to fire back. Frazier trying to find the range, putting that right hand out there. Now shells up to protect from the Rosales attack. Short left right there, sends the sweat flying off of the brow of Rosales.
You know, another thing moving forward too, another reason why, you know, to add to what we were talking about earlier, why I want to see Frazier, you know, make an attempt to finish this fight with an exclamation point is also this crowd. You know, moving forward, creating a fan base for Frazier. It takes me being a boxing guy as a purist. I appreciate the things Frazier does in there, and the attacks he's setting up, and like what he's doing in there, the science behind it. But to the casuals watching this bout, they want to see that killer instinct. They want to see that finishing ability. Give them a reason to want to come back. Because to the untrained eye, not always going to appreciate the finer points of the game.
Right. Make the highlight reels. Get that highlight reel put together. Build your resume as you look to continue to climb the ranks. Solid shot to the body, followed by a straight left down the middle, splitting the guard of Rosales. Final 15 seconds here of round number 5. Left hand just misses.
At the same time, this also could have been maybe the best thing for Frazier also, because we're going in the round 6. He's been off for 7 months. He needed some rounds tonight. He needed some rounds, shake off the rust. You know, he's only been the distance one time. So it wouldn't, on the other side of the coin, it wouldn't hurt for his development if he did have a chance to go 6 rounds tonight and make it to the judges' scorecards.
Well, no doubt Joshua Frazier is the one in control in this fight. Continues to put it on Angel Rosales round after round. As we get ready for the 6th and final round. Credit deserved for Rosales as well. Each replay pack that we show sees him eating some big shots from Joshua Frazier. Not only does he eat those shots, but continues to fire back as well.
Absolutely.
Sixth and final round. Joshua Frazier, Angel Rosales. Second of 6 fights here tonight on the card. A nice right hand around the guard. The pace is quick to start this final round. Body head, Frazier mixing it up. Oh, it's a solid left hand down the pipe as well, but as we've seen the first 5 rounds, Rosales eats it and immediately fires back.
Well, to Rosales' credit, you know, a lot of people were whispering earlier today in fight day that if we were going to see any knockouts or blowouts tonight, it was going to be this fight here. And on paper, it sure seemed that way with all the physical advantages going to Frazier. But I have to say, Rosales has surprised me tonight with his durability. He's game. He's game, and he hasn't stopped trying to fire back coming into the 6th round. And he's taken some heavy artillery.
He has. Throws 2 to the body of Frazier, but eats 1 to the chin on that last exchange as well.
He came to fight.
Oh, huge exchange there. There's a right to the chin of Rosales. Halfway through the 6th and final round. Another entertaining fight on the card here tonight.
Nice spin off the ropes there by Frazier. Caught himself on the ropes, he dipped those knees a little bit. He had some room to move his hips, and he spun around, put Rosales on the ropes.
Rosales now trying to march forward Tight guard. Frazier doesn't allow much through as he fires back.
Well, what Frazier does right here is he throws a lot of touch shots. He does a lot of touch shots, allows the guy to sleep, and then he'll snap it, he'll whip a good hook or uppercut around the side off of those little touch shots.
Step in left there from Rosales, finds a home. Uppercut though, back the other way from Frazier. Final 45 seconds, sixth and final round.
Oh, nice body shot there. More of that body and then come up to the head immediately. Don't wait. Immediately up to the head after you set the guy down with a body shot.
A trip and stumble there as the fighter's feet get tangled. Frazier out of range, then back in, looking to finish this fight strong as we approach the final 10 seconds. Strong punch there from Frazier. Rosales throws a right. Frazier comes back in, throws a left. Throwing to the very last second and the very last bell. Frazier and Rosales embrace. A fantastic fight between these two men. Have to think Josh Frazier gets the edge, but full credit to Angel Rosales. Comes in on short notice, 1 week notice against a extremely tough opponent. Stood in there, took some shots, and fired back as well.
100%, and I think these were 6 much-needed rounds for Frazier. I think to shake off the rust and break a sweat and get himself back in the mix again. And looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, the skills of Frazier were on display.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Found a home for many different types of attack. The diversity in Frazier's game as well is a strength.
Uses
up high, down low.
He knows how to use
movement.
A lot of touch shots. You know, he's not a guy who will jab a lot. For a guy with his height and reach, he won't use that jab a whole lot, but he throws a lot of touch shots, benches you as he slowly closes the gap, and then boom, he starts whipping around hard crosses and hooks off of those touch shots without compromising his own defense.
And that's an excellent point. I mean, Rosales fired back many times, but never had Frazier in trouble. The defense of Frazier was always sound, yet he was still able to be aggressive at the proper moments of the fight. A strong performance from Joshua Hellraiser Frazier. And yeah, you want those KOs on your record, but perhaps you're right, Tony, when he looks back, maybe these 6 rounds can be valuable as well in his development and his continued ascension up the ranks of the super welterweight division.
And maybe we'll entice some of these other bigger domestic names, or if anyone's watching from outside the country, to want to fight him now and maybe bring out more out of Frazier that we haven't seen yet.
Let's send it up to Carlos Verde for the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go the 6-round distance in our second attraction of the evening. First off, let's have a big round of applause for both Jose Angel Rosales and Joshua Frazier, an entertaining 6-round bout. We go now to the judges' scorecards, where all 3 judges, Deborah Wong, Jasper Kajavsky, and Martin Dolita, see it an identical 60-54 for your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Joshua Hellraiser Frazier.
Shutout across the board,
Let's hear
all
it one
3
more
scorecards.
time. Rosales Frazier in our second attraction.
60-54, as we would expect. A perfect performance from Joshua Hellraiser Frazier, and lots for him to take out of this fight as well. Getting that rust off his first fight since November of last year, getting those 6 rounds in the book, and having a very good performance against a very tough opponent in Angel Rosales. Joshua Frazier runs his undefeated record to 8-0. Stays perfect in the win-loss category, and it'll be interesting to see the next steps for a fighter in Josh Hellraiser Frazier. Not somebody that people are lining up to take on in this division, but
no, and you know, I would like to see Josh face some different styles, different types of opponents in front of him, guys who will make him think and give him different things to look at. we've been seeing a lot of the same generic, the straightforward, up and down brawler looking to engage, mix it up. I'm looking to see some guys who will give us some different pictures, some spoilers, some boxer movers, or maybe guys who have a little bit of threat, so some punch and power that can make Frazier think a little bit, think twice about letting his own shots go out. I want to see some different styles in front of Josh, but I understand that these guys also have to be willing to want to fight Josh too.
Right,
right.
And there's not a big lineup for that type of thing right now, right?
It's tricky finding him.
Exactly.
Those opponents.
Yeah. Next fight up will be in the super lightweight division. Cody Kelly taking on Ki Soo Lee. This will be a fight that should have some fireworks. Cody Kelly rarely, if not ever, has a boring fight, so this one should be highly entertaining.
And not only that, but rarely do you see a southpaw versus a southpaw. Most guys hate fighting lefties. You know who hates fighting lefties? Lefties hate fighting lefties more than anything.
All right, time to get underway. Super lightweight division, 6 rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this third contest of the evening brought to you by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions in partnership with presenting sponsor Kaz Kishins and Mr. Matthew Barkley. Your referee in charge of the action when the punches fly inside the squared circle, the former Olympian Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he scaled 141 1/2 pounds. His record as a professional, a great one. 8 victories against 4 defeats, with 1 big win coming by way of knockout. Here is the former South Korean super featherweight champion from Seoul, South Korea. It's Ki Soo Terminator Lee. And now introducing his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black trunks with yellow trim. He scaled 142 1/2 pounds. Tonight, his 14th contest as a professional. The former Canadian super lightweight contender from Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. Here is Cody Kelly. Referee in charge, Mr. Mark Simmons, with your final instructions.
Boxers, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. These shorts a little high from here and up is fair. These shorts are good. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
Cody Kelly, Ki Soo Lee, 6 rounds in the super lightweight division, and don't blink, this one could be an action-packed affair. We are underway. Cody Kelly, the yellow and black trunks. Ki Soo Lee in the red.
Is it just me, though? I'm seeing Cody Kelly's cheekbones got some real redness.
On the left.
On both sides.
Both, okay.
Both sides. It makes me wonder, there's sparring and then there's gym wars. I'd like to know what kind of work he had in camp and when did he stop sparring, leading up to tonight.
Strong left hand for Cody. Lots of fighting in a phone booth here in the first 40 seconds of round number 1.
It's Jisoo, right? Am I saying his name right?
Ki Soo Lee.
Ki Soo Lee. I'm sorry, Ki Soo Lee. Ki Soo Lee. Ki Soo staying nice and relaxed so far. Nice and ooh, guys are coming close to a headbutts there, where they're both diving in.
Not a lot of distance between these two fighters in the first minute and change of this opening round.
Well, I think that's what Cody. Ooh, nice uppercut there, Ki Soo.
Snaps the head back at Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, Cody Kelly's a tough guy to come back against after a long layoff, because he's rough, he's tough. He gets in there and he grinds it down. He makes it dirty. And he makes you uncomfortable. He's a hard guy to get ready for, because he is unconventional. He wraps your arms up, punches off the break, But Ki Soo so far staying nice and relaxed. He's poised, trying to get that.
Oh, a huge left hand, and Kelly is down on the mat. Huge left over the top. Cody Kelly waiting for the count. Back up on his feet.
I think we know why Cody Kelly did want to keep that fight nice and close. Kisu is dangerous if you give him some room.
See if the urgency here of Lee picks up. Looking to close the show. Final minute, round number 1, a huge knockdown.
Well, but if I'm Kisu though, just take a step back. Don't fall into those wrestling matches.
See how quickly Kelly can recover. He seems to have his bearings. It's going to take some time for those cobwebs to clear. Getting to that stool for the end of round number 1 will be some valuable recovery time for Cody Kelly.
Oh, and Cody Kelly's unorthodox, so I don't like the way he's holding his hands. Little quirks he has. The way he positions himself in that ring. Heads up, hands aren't up by his guard. He just got rocked.
Final 10 seconds, round number 1.
That was a devastating shot by Kisu, but he hasn't capitalized on it though. He's smothering his own offense. Maintain range.
Round number 1 in the books. Cody Kelly makes it to the stool, but a devastating knockdown blow for
Great shot.
Kisui in round number 1.
Yeah, great
Massive shot. Here
See,
it is right here.
Right here. See, Cody gave him a little bit of room.
There.
He was standing at long range with his hands down by his chest, head up in the air. And we see with a guy like Kisu, we're learning about him as we're watching him. He's dangerous at the end of his shots. He's got quick reflexes. He's explosive with that left hand. You don't want to be standing in front of him with your hands down and head up in the air.
Immediately took the legs out from under. Cody Kelly did that huge left hand of Kisui. Big knockdown in round number 1. We'll see the recovery rate of Cody Kelly here as we start round number 2.
Again, but I do have my suspicions that Cody is quite often a self-trained guy. Jim, as I understand it, he kind of runs his own gym, correct?
Yeah, Twin Boxing Academy.
Yeah, so I do wonder how often he's able to take the coach's cap off and lend it to someone else who is watching him, and not just watching him, but holding him accountable. Oh, big right again, because that's what I'm talking about. What I was getting at is who's there to remind Cody in camp of certain mistakes and tendencies he has, because standing at the end of the guy's range with your head up in the air like
this
that.
This one's over. Referee
Bad
is calling a
news.
stop to this fight.
Again, the big fundamental thing that happened was one guy was in the punching range with his head up in the air with another guy who has the skills and explosiveness to capitalize on that and rip those shots, jump in with those quick lead hooks and crosses.
Dropped him in round number 1, finishes him in round number 2. Kisui.
Flush on the chin both times.
Very clean shots.
Which tells me he's, Kisu is a guy who's got the ability to hurt you with one punch. With one punch, he can turn the lights out.
And he did just that. Triumphant return to the ring for Kisui. First fight since May of 2019. 13th fight of his professional career and the first outside of Asia. Comes here to Barrie, Ontario, defeats Cody Kelly by a second round knockout. Had the knockdown in round 1, the knockout in round 2. This was a fantastic performance for Kisui.
Welcome to Canada.
Based in Toronto for this camp.
Okay.
Perhaps a training camp in Toronto that paid dividends.
Well, I'm seeing Chris Johnson in his corner there outside of the ropes. Chris Johnson was a former 1992 Olympian. Went 10 rounds with Antonio Tarver as a pro. So he's got some pedigree. He's got some good people, good experience in his corner right there.
Now Cody Kelly's regained his bearings in his corner, getting the gloves removed. Doesn't like the stoppage. I mean, not very many boxers do. He was up on his feet, thought he could continue, but the referee said enough is enough. Calls a stop to the fight. Obviously a very disappointed and dejected Cody Kelly, who suffers the knockout loss here tonight in round number 2 to that man right there, Kisui.
Well, there's no question. Cody Kelly's a warrior through and through. He's proven that time and time again throughout his career. But this is a situation where we have to, the ringside officials have to protect the fighter from themselves.
Let's get another look at the knockout as well. Isui in round number one.
That head up like a lantern in a storm. Ready, waiting.
Round number one knockdown, round number two
Ladies and gentlemen,
knockout.
the emphatic end comes at the 47-second mark of round number two. Your winner via TKO in his North American debut, Ki Su Terminator E.
Second round TKO, Cody Kelly embracing the corner of his opponents. Obviously disappointed, obviously dejected. But that was one for the highlight reels for Ki Su E. Have to think maybe we'll be seeing more of him on this side of the pond.
I want to.
Well, absolutely. We talked in our previous fight about building those highlight reels and making people want to see you enter the boxing ring. It's performances like that that will make fans want to see this man once again in the boxing ring. And those are the types of nights you dream of as a boxer. I mean, round number one knockdown, round number two TKO. Doesn't get much better than that.
Take it out of the judge's hands.
Exactly.
Don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
Well, it certainly brought this crowd to its feet. An emphatic finish and an excellent performance all around for Ki Su E. I'm sure his training partner in United Boxing Promotions partner Michael Cabato will be excited about that one, watching that one.
Moment and recognize a special guest in attendance here at the Sadlon Arena
take a time
this evening. Former British Army welterweight champion,
British Army champion, British Empire champion, Scotland Boxing Hall of Fame and Barrie resident Willie Watson.
Of the Scotland Boxing Hall of Fame and Barrie resident, Mr. Willie Watson.
Welcome back to United Boxing Promotions, live from the Sadlon Arena in Barrie, Ontario. Coming off an emphatic knockout victory from Ki Su E over Cody Kelly. 3 fights in the books, 3 to go, including a championship doubleheader. And next up on the card will be in the lightweight division, 8 rounds. Josh O'Reilly taking on Alexis De La Cruz. And for Josh O'Reilly, a former NABA champion, takes on Alexis De La Cruz, who has been on a streak as of late, 5-0-1 in his last 6 fights.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the top of our undercard this evening, sanctioned by the Office of the Ontario Athletics Commissioner for 8 rounds or less in the the lightweight division, presented by Budweiser. This Bud is for you. The judges seated at ringside, Deborah Wong, Jasper Kajavsky, and Martin DeLita. The referee, the third man inside the squared circle when the punches fly, is Mr. David Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears el tricolor de su querido Mexico, Mexican, green, white, and red. He scaled 140.5 pounds. His record as a professional, a very good one. 7 victories against just 1 defeat with 2 draws. 3 big wins coming por via del knockout. Originario del Distrito Federal de México, presentando Alexis De La Cruz. And now introducing his opponent across the ring, he fights out of the red corner and wears the blue trunks with the white and Irish green trim. He weighed in at 143.5 pounds. His record as a professional, an outstanding one. 17 victories, 1 solitary defeat, 7 big wins coming by way of knockout. Hamilton, Ontario's own, former North American and Intercontinental champion, here is Josh Dubs O'Reilly. David Dunbar, your referee in charge with the final instructions.
Gentlemen, we went through the rules earlier in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Belt line is here, belt line is here. There above will be considered good blows. Are there any questions from the corners? Gentlemen, touch gloves now. Come out at the bell. Good luck to you both.
Set for 8 rounds in the lightweight division. Josh Dubs O'Reilly, Alexis De La Cruz. A lot of international flavors in the trunks as well. I love it. The beautiful red, white, and green of Mexico on the trunks of De La Cruz. The light green of Ireland outlining the trunks of Josh O'Reilly.
Cultural pride.
I love it. Two pretty darn good fighting nations, if you ask me. Ireland and Mexico as well. Wouldn't want to get in the middle of that scrap.
Beautifully violent mix. But contrary to popular belief, though, Josh is a consummate boxer on his best day, and he's at his best when he's boxing smart, working behind the jab like we're seeing. Not getting caught in too many extended exchanges, but boxing smart, sticking by the basics. But Martinez, though, so far doing a good job, in the battle, in the jabbing game so far in the early going.
Solid right cross there from
Glance and
O'Reilly.
blow.
Yep.
Yeah. But Alexis, though, is taking a good job of taking the center of the ring. He's trying to touched a couple times with the jab, finding his range. Hasn't let that right hand go just yet, but his eyes are laser-like right now. They're focused. He's locked in.
This is our first 8-round bout of the evening. 2 title fights after this will be 10-round contests. A little more time to work with for these gentlemen in the lightweight division. Nice use of the left hand there by Alexis to keep O'Reilly at range.
But Josh, though, I'm seeing his movement and his side steps and while he's trying to find openings and put himself in position to punch. But again, that's at least 3 solid jabs he's taken flush so far this round. And his movement, it's a little bit predictable. He keeps doing the same kind of pattern to his movement every time he backs in and out, little side step to the right, same little 2-step rhythm every time. After a while, a guy like Martinez is going to start picking up on that and getting the timing of Josh's rhythm, because it gets a little predictable. Give the guy a different look sometimes. Mix it up, move in different directions. Don't always do the same pattern all the time.
Lunging in with a 3-punch combo. It's Alexis De La Cruz. Trunks say Martinez. All our paperwork says De La Cruz. So
messing with us.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. The Irish trim of O'Reilly is easy to identify. So first round in the books, and a strong round for De La Cruz as well.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad round for De La Cruz. He controlled the center of the ring. Yeah, let his hands go. Nothing significant landed on both guys, but De La Cruz did a good job of landing that jab several times over the round. Let his hands go both times, at least touching the target, banging the arms of Josh. Josh, a little gun shy that round. He's jabbing, he's moving, but a little hesitant to commit to any forceful attacks.
De La Cruz seemed to do a good job of keeping that head off the center line as well. Not allowing for an easy target for O'Reilly. Nice job there by O'Reilly, keeping that guard up though to fend off the left hand of De La Cruz. 1 round in the books. Set to go, round number 2. Fighters meet in the center of the ring. Nice exchange there as neither fighter shy. First 10 seconds of this second round, getting right into the mix.
Well, 2 little things I like that De La Cruz did. The way he takes his head out, he'll slip on the inside and then look to shovel up a quick uppercut to to the rib cage, and he'll try to come over the top with that right hand after. And when he throws that right hand, he takes his head out, so he's on the outside of his opponent's back shoulder, so he's hitting you, and his head's not in position to get hit at the same time.
Smart offense while maintaining defense.
Exactly.
It's a great path to success in the boxing ring.
And then he gets back. Every time he's done throwing a combination, he gets right back on that jab again.
Wild left hand there from De La Cruz, misses. O'Reilly mixing things up, a few to the body, then comes over the top to the head. Corner likes that.
Oh, nice uppercut there. Yes.
From De La Cruz.
You know, I'm just seeing right now in the early going, you know, Josh has some neat skills. He's got some neat skills, he's textbook, but he's lacking a little bit of firepower, and he's struggling to get De La Cruz's respect whenever he touches the target. And every time De La Cruz comes back, his punches just seem to have a little bit more force and impact behind them. It just leaves a more lasting impression to, you know, to the viewers watching ringside. Who would you rather be right now in the early going? I'd rather be De La Cruz.
De La Cruz was the bull on that last exchange. O'Reilly, the matador, getting out of the way. Now they come together and clinch up. Referee Dave Dunbar will separate. Final 45 seconds, round number 2. Very close round so far. No real huge blows to separate these two.
But De La Cruz just seems like he feels like the energy between them right now, the body language is. De La Cruz feels like just ran into a good hook there on the way in, but for the most part, he seems like he's more in control, comfortable where this fight is right now. Josh
does seem composed. Sorry, Tony. Does seem composed and controlled, but maybe the biggest shot of the round was that left hand that we saw just a few moments ago from O'Reilly.
That is true, but you know, I don't know if that's enough in a 3-minute period.
Right.
To win a round.
To overcome the strong work of the rest of the round. So 2 rounds in the books. Very composed approach from Alexis De La Cruz.
And when we see attacks like that, what it is he's ripping those shots underneath, and he goes around the sides, up the middle, and it just seems like it has a carrying impact when he lands. He's more forceful with the shots when he lets his hands go. And then Josh so far just finds he's just a little shaky. He's still trying to find his place in there.
De La Cruz's style perhaps been a little bit frustrating to O'Reilly through the first 6 minutes of this fight, but an 8-round fight, still a long way to go. Can O'Reilly crack the code that has been De La Cruz through the first 6 minutes of this fight? Right hand over the top from De La Cruz, followed by a left down the middle.
He always finishes with that jab. I notice every time he backs up out of an exchange, he throws a jab out there. It's like a stiff arm. It keeps Josh from, when he wants to come back after he defends an attack, that jab stops him in his tracks, makes him think.
Nice job there by O'Reilly to land a shot and get out of the way real quick.
Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to find a way to put a little bit more juice on his shots, make De La Cruz think, get some respect, sting him.
Very active footwork from O'Reilly. Does not stay stationary. Dunbar steps in between. Accidental clash there. A couple nice shots to the body there from De La Cruz.
Trying to slow down the movement. Oh, but there's Josh with that sneaky little liver shot, and that's what got him out of trouble in his last fight when we were ready to count him out, was he found that liver shot and it turned that whole fight around.
Yeah, losing on the scorecards to Jorge Amaya was Josh O'Reilly in his last fight before he stopped the bout with a body shot. So we know he has that in his toolbox. That latest rip to the body certainly follows that trend.
Well, I am seeing a little adjustment here from Josh in this round. He's picked up the pace a little bit, and he's letting his hands go a little bit more. And you know what? He doesn't have to worry about, you know what? If you can't sting the guy, if you can't produce more firepower than your opponent, just overwhelm him with activity. Then keep something in his face, keep him circling and turning, and just be that pesky little fly. That pesky little fly. You know, slow down those attacks like that. Minimize opportunities where De La Cruz has time to let his hands go and plant. Don't give him a chance to plant his feet and make contact.
Well, O'Reilly's been very active with the footwork, constantly moving.
Move, and just rack up points.
In and out, side to side. Nice head movement there on that last exchange as well. So a strong third round here for Josh O'Reilly.
It's
De La
better.
Cruz senses danger, so clinches up. Final 10 seconds, round number 3. Stiff left jab there from De La Cruz as O'Reilly continues to throw. Final few seconds of this round. A solid left hand there sends the mouthpiece flying. Big shot from De La Cruz to wrap up the third round. Sends Josh O'Reilly to pick up the mouthpiece. That's a strong finish to that round that could play a factor in the judges' viewing of round number 3. A round that Josh O'Reilly had success in up until then.
He was showing more of a positive body language and a more positive stance, and was assuming control. But sometimes this game is subjective. A judge might look at that last exchange and think that De La Cruz could have done enough to steal the round. Sometimes you don't win rounds, you steal rounds.
And the mouthpiece might play a factor. I mean, if that mouthpiece doesn't go flying, maybe it just looks like any other jab, right? It's something that we've seen 20 of in the round before, but the same strength jab could, if connecting in a certain way, send the mouthpiece flying.
And if anything, what it does show is that, you know, in a round that you can argue that Josh O'Reilly controlled the majority of that round and slowed down the pace, De La Cruz is still a threat. He's still a threat when he's given the right opportunity.
Round number 4. Tough third round to score. Strong finish from De La Cruz. Could have taken it. Now to worry about the round at hand. And Josh O'Reilly comes out swinging.
Josh seems to be looking more of a... building his confidence here. He's taking more of a bolder stance this round here, attempting for a minute to walk him down and push De La Cruz back. He's either warming up to the power, but again, I don't know if it might be too soon to start trying to walk De La Cruz down right now, because De La Cruz, when he let those hands go, he's still whipping those hooks around O'Reilly's guard.
De La Cruz has a nice mix of working that jab and then throwing those power shots when the time is right.
Nice cutoff punch there from O'Reilly, but again, I just don't know if his punches have the same effect on De La Cruz as when De La Cruz lets his hands go and makes contact with Josh. Something tells me every time Josh let those when Josh is defending those attacks from De La Cruz, there's still a sense of vulnerability there. Josh, whenever he's on the receiving end of shots.
Halfway through the 4th round. The power shots seem to have picked up the pace in this round as well. Which is separated by Dave Dunbar. Riley right back to work. A couple of shots to the body, followed by one to the head. Punches and bunches, a good sign from Josh O'Reilly.
And I like that left hook to the body for him. That could be the equalizer right there. It was in his last fight, and it could be for this fight here. You know, a way to take some of the kill out of De La Cruz's eyes, because his eyes, he's got that eye of the tiger right now when he's coming in. But one way to do that and sap some of that energy out of him is keep setting up shots to find that liver shot.
Those power shots of De La Cruz certainly do have a lot of force behind them, so working the body to take anything out of those is definitely a game plan that could reap rewards for O'Reilly. Nice exchange there as both fighters connect. Final 10 seconds of round number 4. Nice left jab there on the back foot from O'Reilly as they come together on the ropes. Final few seconds. Nice hold on the trigger there by De La Cruz not to fire after the bell. Entertaining round number 4 in the lightweight division.
Well, I've noticed a trend now in the last 2 rounds with De La Cruz, he always manages he makes sure he's the last one to throw in exchanges and launch attacks in the last 10 seconds of the round. He leaves that last impression on the judges, makes you wonder, oh, okay, you know, if the round's up for grabs, you think of that last exchange, and De La Cruz comes out on the winning end of it. It's a sneaky way to put rounds in the books.
Well, it's a smart strategy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, any rounds that could be close, the lasting impression or the last thing the judges see could sway it one way, so not the worst idea. As we get ready for round number 5, Alexis De La Cruz fighting out of Mexico City, Mexico, against Josh Dubs O'Reilly, the former NABA champion, a title you, Tony Lightning Lewis, once held.
I did.
Humbly so, I know.
Humbly so, then I had to vacate it, and then it got passed down to Josh.
Start of round number 5 here.
Nice overhand there from Josh. Good positive start to this round for Josh.
And another.
Yeah.
De La Cruz maintaining the center of the ring as O'Reilly circles and looks for his shot. Sticking that jab out there. As De La Cruz, as they come together, a little bit of a trip and stumble there as O'Reilly falls into the ropes. First fight outside of Mexico for Alexis De La Cruz, so uncharted waters for him. So far so good as he has looked strong in his debut outside his home country of Mexico. A little quicker on the trigger is De La Cruz on the last couple of exchanges, just catching O'Reilly before he can throw. And backs out and hits the reset button.
Well, Josh has his bet, Josh has been boxing well this round, though. He only, when he gets, as long as he fights in 2s and 3s on the balls of his foot, keep De La Cruz circling, he's safe, and he's racking up points. It's only when he gets too greedy and he stays in the punching range for too long and into extended exchanges is whenever he puts himself at risk of giving up the ball and catching shots from De La Cruz. But as long as he keeps it conservative and just not stay in the pocket too long where he can eat uppercuts like that, stay on the outside, work behind that jab, double, triple up, don't stick around for the return. Because De La Cruz is waiting for it. He's looking to catch Josh in the crossfire. He's doing, countering off that jab, and he comes around with short hooks around the side and body shots up the middle.
Nice rip to the body there from O'Reilly. Final 30 seconds of round number 5. Tightly contested match between Josh Dubs O'Reilly and Alexis De La Cruz.
It is, because when you take this fight on face value, Josh lands the textbook, he throws the textbook prettier combos. When you're looking at impact made, De La Cruz's punches seem to have a more lasting effect.
Flurry exchange here to end round number 5. As these fighters exchange, they'll go right to the bell and head to their corners. 5 rounds into the books, and yet another entertaining fight here. A night of championship boxing put on by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions. We've been treated to a handful of fantastic fights and still 2 title fights to come after this one here tonight. Highlights from round number 5.
Well, again, you always see at the end of every exchange, Josh will throw 2-3 shots, but the one who's always landing, the most significant one, is at the end of the exchanges, where De La Cruz stays in position to counter, looking to catch Josh on the tail end of the exchange.
See if those body work deposits start paying off for Josh O'Reilly, because he's had success ripping around the guard, finding a home to the body. We've talked about it already in this fight. That's how he won his last match, when trailing on the judges' scorecards, was a stoppage due to body shots. Now we're into round 6, 7, and 8. This is where those body shots can really start to pay off. Left hook there from De La Cruz as O'Reilly steps into range. Nice jab as well.
And he's used it.
Nice right on the exit by O'Reilly.
It's been a good back and forth fight tonight, you know. And what I was, just to follow up on De La Cruz's jab, he throws it the type of jab where it's a time jab, where he slows that jab down, but enough force where it stops O'Reilly's speed a little bit. It's one of those jabs. As I say that, Josh throws a jab of his own.
Yeah, snaps the head back of De La Cruz, sends the sweat flying, gets a reaction from his corner as well, encouraging for more of the same. Cruz knows he has to.
Josh turning his back there momentarily. Dangerous thing to do, backing out.
De La Cruz looked like he wanted to pounce for a second, but perhaps took the more cautious approach. Yeah. Solid right hand there, finds the chin. Thrown by O'Reilly.
Well, that's what Josh has to do. When he does find himself inside, either tie him up or get rough and punch your way out and get back in range. Ooh, but see where he's dangerous. But I appreciate Josh trying to find that liver shot, and it has produced results for him in the past. But 3 times down this fight where he throws that left hook to the body, but he's there to get hit with that left hook upstairs at the same time. Got to keep that right hand up by your chin when you're throwing body shots downstairs.
Action-packed round number 6 as these fighters continue to exchange. Both of them making some serious shots here in this round. Nice duck there by De La Cruz to get out of the way of the left hook of O'Reilly. Jab and staying out of range by O'Reilly as well. Cruz looking to get on the inside here.
Got away from his jab though. De La Cruz has to remember, oh, nice body shot there by O'Reilly. See, when De La Cruz gets away from his jab trying to get his way back in, that's when he gives the play away and allows Josh to control range and dictate the pace of the bout. Can't get away from his jab. The jab will set up all those other shots. Don't just try to come in and lead with hooks. Get back on that jab.
Bad flurry there. Josh O'Reilly Martinez tries to fire back to get something. Final 10 seconds here. As usual, De La Cruz looking to finish strong, perhaps leave an impression on the judges, but O'Reilly's having none of it. Keeps him on the back foot and a strong finish, a strong round for both of these fighters, but O'Reilly very busy in that round number 6. Lots of action in round number 6. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Martinez getting in on the inside of O'Reilly. Flurry of work on the inside as well, but O'Reilly did a good job of staying busy in that round. Continued to work the body, found some work upstairs as well, and this was the last few seconds of the round. Looking to finish strong, both of these fighters, and leave that impression on the judges. Steps in, tries to throw a left to the body. Throws a right that can't find a home. Steps in. Much success. Nice defense there by O'Reilly as they continue to exchange.
I like that overhand right hook that O'Reilly tries to throw. He sneaks it around De La Cruz's guard when he throws it. Off that right hook, he can land that left hook, find that left hook to the body that he likes to throw. What I don't want to see from Josh though is when he's pulling off from exchanges, he's depending on his legs to get him out of range because he can get caught. And because De La Cruz is looking for him, he's looking to catch Cruz. He's looking to catch O'Reilly pull off from exchanges with his head up in the air, hands down by his chest.
O'Reilly very active with the footwork, never stays in one spot, always bouncing, always moving laterally up and down, keeping his head off the line.
It's a good sign of conditioning. It also leaves the impression to his opponent that it's discouraging. This guy's still moving on the ball of his feet. I haven't slowed him down. He's still in his rhythm. He's still letting his shots go and peppering. But a guy like Josh, he's not a concussive puncher. He's not a guy who carries a lot of natural power. He needs to be in shape to fight on the balls of his feet like this all night.
Approaching the final minute, round number 7 of 8 in this lightweight division battle. 17-1, Josh Dubs O'Reilly taking on 7-1-2, Alexis De La Cruz. Jab there from De La Cruz. To home, but O'Reilly with a flurry of punches in response.
Well, De La Cruz has slowed down a little bit this round. I think we're starting to see O'Reilly's conditioning and boxing ability start to take control here and dictate the round. Every time De La Cruz has thrown, like I said, I found up to this point, De La Cruz has landed the more forceful shots. But landing those more forceful shots also meant he's been loading up more, and he might have slowed down a little bit, loading up with those shots. And now we're seeing the activity and volume of Josh take over here in the 7th round.
Final 10 seconds of this 7th round. So you can leave an impression. And from De La Cruz, but a stiff left from O'Reilly as they exchange just one more round to go. And this is a close fight.
Very close fight.
Very close fight. Not much to separate these fighters, but like we've been able to say all night long, these two fighters in the ring have certainly brought their game here tonight to put on a show for the fans in attendance and the fans watching at home. Highlights from round number 6, and that's a good example, like you said, of the rip to the body from O'Reilly, opening up that left hook to the head from De La Cruz. That's something we've seen on a few different occasions here, and that was an excellent replay showing exactly what you pointed out live when it was happening. Conditioning should not be a factor here for Josh O'Reilly. Peak physical condition. Alexis De La Cruz doesn't look half bad himself, though. Started to slow a bit in round number 7. See what round number 8 brings. 8th and final round in the lightweight division. Very tight fight. How much is still up in the air, and how much could this 8th round play pivotal should we reach the judges' scorecards? There's jab work early from O'Reilly. Can't quite get the power shot off as a jab and then a nice hook.
That's
De La Cruz.
That's what De La Cruz is looking for. He's not looking to win a boxing match. He's looking to land a kill shot and catch Josh coming out of exchanges. Right there. And then he's got to get back on defense. Get back on defense and get back on your bike. Where Josh is in the danger zone is after he throws, if he stays too long in the pocket in extended exchanges. That's where you can be vulnerable. Keep it tight, keep it conservative, and then get back into range again.
A little bit of bully work there as O'Reilly shoves De La Cruz back a few steps, gets some distance. Nice slip and rip there.
Yes. Josh has done a good job of taking the ball back these last 2-3 rounds.
Yeah, he's looked stronger as the fight has progressed. perhaps a testament to his conditioning. like you said.
Absolutely, his conditioning, his footwork, his ability to stay on the balls of his feet. Tell he put in the road work for this fight.
Halfway through round number 8, a round that could certainly still decide this fight in a razor-thin lightweight contest. Chasing a bit there is O'Reilly as De La Cruz backs out. Time to lay it out all on the line. Final minute approaching now of this 8-round battle. Fighters exchange. There.
You know where I think De La Cruz could, if De La Cruz comes out on the short end of a decision tonight, I'd like him to look back on the tape when he goes home. Nice short shots there. Now from O'Reilly inside, he's digging. Oh, nice body shot, nice spread uppercut there under the flanks from O'Reilly. We're starting to see, now is the point, I said earlier where I thought it'd be too soon that O'Reilly would start walking De La Cruz down, but now in this 8th round, now is the time where we're seeing his conditioning really play a role.
And a strong finish down the stretch here for Josh Dubs O'Reilly, putting it on De La Cruz. Final 15 seconds of this 8th and final round.
Now is the time.
Can we get a separation in another exchange? Final 10 seconds.
Now is the right time to walk De La Cruz down. It was a little too soon earlier in the fight, but now, a good finish for O'Reilly. I gotta say, he got off to a shaky start in the early rounds. Had me questioning, what direction the fight was gonna go, but as the fight went on, he remained composed. He stayed dedicated to his game plan. He kept boxing and boxing and believing in his conditioning, and we got to see as the fight went on, Josh may have made the proper adjustments to close out and box his way to a very competitive decision.
Yeah, the judges' scorecards are going to be very interesting on this one. I am interested to see the scores, and if there's a range of scores here, as there's so many close rounds in this contest. I think you're right in saying Josh O'Reilly got better as the rounds progressed. It seemed like De La Cruz had the first couple rounds going his way, but with each round that passed, it seemed that Josh O'Reilly got stronger and stronger. Specifically 7 and 8 were his strongest rounds. Well, these will be very intriguing scorecards here to see who walks away with this victory. The footwork of O'Reilly was impressive. The output level as well was impressive. Was it enough down the stretch to bring home the victory? We're minutes away, or moments away, I should say, from hearing the judges' scorecards. It's the closest fight I can remember in a bit of time. The last few United Boxing Promotions cards, so it'll be an interesting one to see what the judges have decided. Eight rounds in the books. The fighters will embrace much respect earned, much respect given, as these two men go to battle for 8 rounds and earn each other's respect. Time for the judges' decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an entertaining 8 rounds, we will go to the judges' scorecards, but first, let's hear it for Josh O'Reilly and Alexis De La Cruz. We go now to the scorecards. Judge Jasper Kajavsky has it 79-73, while judges Deborah Wong and Martin Delita see it an identical 78-74. In favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Josh Dubs O'Reilly.
Josh Dubs O'Reilly walks away with the decision victory.
Well, again, I think this was, in hindsight, this was De La Cruz's fight to lose. I think he had the ability to win this bout, but he got off to a positive start in the early rounds and was capitalizing on mistakes Josh was making. I said earlier, Josh would stay in the pocket too long, fall into extended exchanges, or pull out high after when he was done punching there for the counter. And De La Cruz would capitalize on those mistakes. But when Josh tightened up his defense and made those adjustments, De La Cruz he had less mistakes to capitalize on, and when Josh took away those mistakes for De La Cruz to capitalize on, to set up opportunities to punch, what De La Cruz had to do from there was start initiating and finding your openings, create the openings. Don't just wait for the other guy to make a mistake and then capitalize. Don't just be an opportunist. Make your opportunities, make your luck. And where De La Cruz gave him the ball and gave him the chance to score an upset tonight was he didn't create those openings and find ways to initiate more attacks where he can capitalize on punching opportunities.
It seemed Josh O'Reilly was able to adjust mid-fight. I mean, adversity through the first 2 rounds makes his adjustments, whereas maybe Alexis De La Cruz wasn't then able to do the same and make his necessary adjustments to swing the fight back in his direction.
100%. And again, it's 2 healthy, developmental comeback fights for Josh. He hasn't had, he's faced adversity 2 fights in a row now since his layoff, and he's shown the ability to adjust and bounce back from adversity, in back-to-back bouts. So some homework moving forward, but some encouragement and things to positively acknowledge going forward also.
2 title fights still to come, and there's a look at Marvelous Mark Smither, Barrie's very own, getting set to take part in the IBO Americas Super Lightweight Championship bout in our main event of the evening. Still an IBO Americas Welterweight Championship bout first, but when we look at the main event here tonight, we talked about it off the top. Tonight is a dream realized for Marvelous Mark Smither. He's fighting in his hometown. He's fighting for a title. There's all kinds of excitement that come with that. Lots of people in the building here to support him. Heck, the announcement hours before he takes to the ring drew a huge round of applause in the building. There's so many people here to see him fight here tonight. There's excitement, but there is definitely pressure as well that comes with that.
And pressure breaks, and other times pressure makes diamonds. So, this isn't Smith's first time fighting in his hometown. He's been here before. He's fought in front of a crowd like this before, of his community, his supporters. So, I have no reason to think that he's going to buckle under the pressure. I think the challenge for Mark tonight is to just remember who he is and stick to what he does best, and don't allow himself to fall into the other opponent's tactics and fight the other guy's fight. Make sure that he fights his fight tonight and tune out the crowd and do what's best for you in that ring.
We'll get to the main event in just a moment, but first, we have another title fight to get to. The IBO Americas Welterweight Championship is on the line. Josh the Boss Wagner taking on Williams Herrera. Let's go with the IBO Americas Welterweight Championship bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of the evening, brought to you by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions in partnership with our sponsors this evening in Barrie, Resform Construction, Angle Custom Homes, Cass Kitchens, Mr. Matthew Barkley, and Budweiser. This bud is for you. 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBO Americas Welterweight Championship. Your supervisor at ringside, Senor Jorge Alonso, Vice President of the IBO for Ibero-America. Your judges scoring this contest at ringside on a 10-point must system. From Ontario, Mr. Alan Davis. From Wisconsin, Mr. Michael Fitzgerald. And from New Jersey, Mr. Steve Weisfeld. Your referee, the third man in charge, inside the squared circle when the punches fly, is Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the sky blue and white of his native Argentina. He weighed in at 146 pounds even. His record as a professional, an outstanding one. 15 victories, 1 defeat, 6 victories coming por via del knockout. Originally from Cruz del Eje, today he fights out of La Calera en la provincia de Córdoba, Argentina. Here is the reigning IBF Latino Super Welterweight Champion, Williams Andres Herrera. And now his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black with the electric green trim. He scaled 143 1/4 pounds. His record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, including 8 vicious ones by way of knockout. The fighting pride of Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. Here is the former IBA Intercontinental Welterweight Champion, Josh the Boss Mark Simmons, your referee in charge with the final instructions.
Boxers, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Shorts, halfway and up if it's fair. Below, foul. Touch gloves, good luck to the both of you.
Set to get underway for the IBO Americas Welterweight Championship. Josh the Boss Wagner in the black and green. Williams Herrera in the familiar blue of his native Argentina. We are underway, first of 10 rounds in this title fight. And Tony, you talked about it off the top. Keeping composed for Josh Wagner, who is an emotional fighter, will be a key in this bout.
Absolutely. And, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, even when it's not about toe-to-toe and getting crazy fire exchange, but even just when you're not punching, loose, make sure you're loose. Keep those muscles loose and relaxed. The relaxed punches are harder punches. Don't be wound up tighter than a snare drum, you know?
Well, that being wound tight can expend energy as well.
Absolutely. Again, it's like I was saying at the top of the broadcast. The word of the night is nervy tonight. Control those nerves. Control those nerves and don't let that mental energy burn you out.
Fierce start as we would expect from Josh the Boss Wagner, looking to be the boss in the ring, undefeated 15-0 with 8 KOs. Looking to add the IBO Americas Welterweight Championship to his stable. Nice body shot there. Williams Herrera has credentials in his own right. Very impressive resume. IBF Latino champion in the super welterweight division. 15-1, hasn't lost a fight since 2019, which was just his 3rd fight of his career. So he's been a young man that has produced results, sometimes in the most difficult of situations as well. Uppercut from Herrera just misses. Wagner returns fire.
Both guys are trying to establish range and dominance with that jab right now. And, you know, I think Josh has a slight edge right now in the battle of the jabs and dictating who's going to control the center of the ring. But one thing I've noticed with Herrera, what I've seen in footage in previous fights, and I'm not seeing as much tonight, is it looked like he did brush up and did some homework a little bit. I noticed in footage he had a tendency of pulling back high with hands down straight up, and he hasn't done that tonight. That's a push down. That's a push down.
Yeah, that's a push down on the back of the neck, back of the shoulders.
That is a sign, though, early to be giving up ground like that and taking a knee. That's a sign of physical dominance early on Wagner's part, though.
The boss is a nickname for a reason. He wants to be the boss in that ring.
He wants to be the boss, and that would give me some confidence early if I was able to shove a guy down that easily to his knees.
Final 10 seconds opening round. This IBO Americas Welterweight Championship bout. Wagner, the aggressor, raises his hand as he feels he took that opening round.
He's the aggressor. He took that round on my scorecard. I think he's just a bit more the twitchier fighter. And when I say I know I'm coming up with words tonight, but the twitchier fighter.
I think that's a good word. I think that's a real word.
Just a little sharper, a little bit sharper with the reflexes, getting his shots off quicker, beating Herrera to the punch. But Herrera's there though. He's live. He's game, and he's close. He's close. He's not far off from his range either. Just Wagner's a little quicker to the finish line right now.
Well, and you had to expect that Wagner would come out and be the aggressor in round number 1. I mean, that's just his very nature, and you have to know that Herrera's corner would know that as well. So perhaps a little bit of a feeling out process in round number 1 for Herrera. Round number 2 underway. See how assertive Josh Wagner is in this second round as he had some success in round number 1. Herrera trying to establish that jab early, putting it out there over and over again, that left hand. Nice left jab there from Wagner. Wagner as he keeps his head off the center line.
Well, Herrera trying to change it up a little this round. Now he's trying to come forward, and Josh adjusting accordingly, boxing, sidestep, and circling a little more for the last round.
Towards the body, just missed from Herrera. Right hand ducked under there by Wagner.
You know, if I'm Joshua now, after you dip down and make the guy miss a big shot like that, make him miss, he's out of position. He's out of position. That's when you got to fire back and counter. Make him pay. Make him pay. Make him think twice about coming in, loading up like that again. He's in your wheelhouse. The guy come into your house for free. He has to come into your house. He's got to pay.
Putting that jab out there, trying to keep Herrera away, then leaps inside.
Leads with the right hand.
Wagner being first off here in the last few exchanges. Final minute, round number 2. Fighters come together, they'll be separated by the referee.
Oh, nice counter hook there by Josh.
Beautiful counter there, staying just out of range and ripping the left hook.
Well, he's adjusted now to the forward stance from Herrera. Now Herrera came out, changing it up, trying to back Josh up. And Josh was on defensive for a minute, making the proper adjustments. Now he's finding the counter opportunities and dissecting, breaking down Herrera in the second half of this round.
Oh, beautiful there.
Knocked
Look
his mouthpiece out.
Yeah, Herrera's hurt. Herrera's
this is what Josh has to control, though.
Final 10 seconds.
Controlled aggression. Don't be loading up like a loony bin with your head up in the air, being crazy.
Massive shot, and a few words on his way back to the corner as well. Herrera's staring at disbelief at him as Wagner landed a huge blow, tried to close the show but couldn't quite get it done with only 10 seconds remaining on the clock, but a massive blow to finish that second round for Josh the Boss Wagner.
You know, very good adjustments from Josh in that round. He adjusted to Herrera's forward momentum in that second round, but where he gets himself in trouble is after he gets the guy hurt. It's the roaring and the head up and the letting the emotions. After he gets the guy hurt, that's when he's got to stay cool and just let the shots go. Let your fist do the talking.
Little message for the start of round 3, maybe, right there.
Nonetheless, a good round for Josh.
Definitely a good round. The best shot of the fight, clearly, in the final seconds of round number 2. Sent the mouthpiece flying of Herrera, and that'll just go to the confidence of Wagner. See how aggressively he starts round number 3. Strong finish to round number 2 has this crowd in it, and this crowd strongly behind Josh the Boss Wagner. They're very much on the back foot to start this round number 3, though now tries to reassert the center of the ring. Wagner finds a home. Leaping in, but Herrera does a good job to back out of range quickly.
I'd like to see, Josh tends to avoid that right hand by dipping on the opposite side. He bends to his right, avoiding the right hand. That's okay. But the conventional way is to slip to your left, avoiding the right hand. You come back with your left hook, but he likes to bend to the right. If he's gonna do that, bend down to the right, come up with something after. Come up with your own right hand after taking from that right hand. Don't just make the guy miss and then let him out for free. Make him pay. Nice, like that. That's what I'm talking about. Counters. Oh, and
a nice left as well.
Your hand is free punch. Guys in the pocket. Hands free. He's not doing nothing. Punch. You got a hand free. Use it.
They're trying to respond, just can't quite connect. Wagner doing a good job eluding his punches while still sticking that jab out there.
Yep.
Right hand connects for Wagner, tries to come up top with the left and just missed. Range control here from Wagner is just superior.
Yes, good educated lead hand out by Josh.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the kind of shots, you know, those repeated touch shots like that. Those are the type of shots that land flush in the face that cuts off your oxygen supply. You know, you jabs in the mouth, in the nose, affects the guy's breathing, takes away his energy and his strength. You start cutting off the oxygen supply. You know, as the fight goes on, that's where you start to see guys slow down and be more susceptible to heavier punishment later on.
Mouthpiece has hit the
Someone's
floor
mouth
once
guard
again.
is gone again. Yeah, I think it's Josh's.
I think
he's
it is
fighting,
too.
though, but he's fighting and he's smiling. Loving every minute.
Yeah,
Loving every
absolutely
minute.
he is. Well, a strong finish to that third round for Herrera, though, as he was able to connect on a few punches, perhaps getting something positive going as that short uppercut there split the guard. Wagner, though, of course, does not back down, does not give an inch, and keeps moving forward. Shakes his head at Herrera.
Do you think when you see a haircut like Josh's and that hair dye, that choice of color, that's a guy who's going to back down
No.
and shy away from conflict?
Well, you have to match the trunks, right? No, does not back down, that's for sure. Has not taken one backward step through the first 3 rounds of this 10-round title fight. Should be up 3 on the scorecards as well, though a strong finish in round number 3 for Herrera. See if he can build on that here to start round number 4. Hands low for Wagner to start the round. Perhaps feeling comfortable with his range control.
You know, I wouldn't get too comfortable just yet. I mean, Herrera's still strong.
Nice head movement there from Wagner. Herrera continues to throw. Short left from...
Well, and he's touching him with that jab. You know, he landed two consecutive jabs on Wagner. And a hook right there. That's what I'm saying. If I'm Josh, I wouldn't get too comfortable just yet.
Yeah, that left was strong from Herrera. Strong connection. Uppercut there from Wagner.
Well, Josh, you know, in the lead up to this fight, he did film study on this guy, and he was preparing for a war. He was preparing for a war. And, ooh, he had some good shots there.
Strong overhand right there from Wagner. Yes, it found a lot of the guard, but still enough to reverberate through the leather.
Well, and you know, even, you know, a shot hitting air is better. You know, if you can make a guy miss completely, instead of even taking the arms and gloves, it's better, because eventually as the fight goes on, even taking heavy shots flush on the arms and gloves, it's still your body. It's still your body taking impact and breaking down over time. Eventually that guard weakens. And these, you know what though, the gloves are off right now though, and these boys are starting to feel out. The honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah, this is a scrap.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. These guys are in the pocket and they are throwing.
Yeah.
Talked about Josh Wagner not taking a backward step in this fight. Well, Williams Herrera
absolutely
has been pedal to the metal moving forward in this round as well, and it's made for an entertaining 4th round.
2 peas in a pod here.
Another great night of fights put on by United Boxing Promotions. 5th of 6 fights on the card here tonight. The main event still to come. The IBO America's Super Lightweight Championship on the line. Mark Smither taking on Jose Gerardo Hasso.
You know what I'm so far, what I'm seeing, you know, it's Herrera's very much in this bout. It's closely contested. It's competitive. It's exciting. It's intense. But Josh just for now, still getting the mark quicker and landing the sharper, more explosive, impactful blows so far in this early going. But one thing about Herrera is he's still landing, he's still getting his share in, and he's more relaxed. His muscles are more relaxed than Josh is in. I'm just thinking the later rounds of the fight, if Josh doesn't manage to find a way to loosen up and keep his arms relaxed, we're going to see more and more rallies like this from Herrera as the fight goes on.
Strong finish once again to this round by Herrera. As he started to pick up the pace about halfway through that round and perhaps did some of his very best work in this entire fight. Perhaps some confidence growing in the corner of Herrera as well, as he started to have some success.
And standing up between rounds too. It's a sign of his confidence and his conditioning also. Again, the biggest thing here is, Josh has a style that allows him, he's explosive, he's athletic. It allows him to build up to early leads and bouts. Just, he's got to learn to, again, temper his emotions and stay relaxed. Relax his body. Don't be so tight in a long fight. That's taxing.
No wasted energy.
Yep.
Up on his feet and bouncing around is Josh Wagner. Still plenty of energy to go. We're in the 5th of 10 rounds. It's welterweight, IBO America's welterweight championship bout. The output level of Herrera has certainly taken an increase in the last round or two. Looking to pick up the pace, put a little more on. Josh the Boss Wagner perhaps take that boss mantra in the middle of the ring from him, but no backward steps like we said in this fight.
No backward step, and he's doing a good job of working behind his jab, and those jabs are landing. And he follows up with body attacks. And he's backing Josh up. It's a good start. It's a good round so far in the first minute of round 5 for Herrera.
Herrera's getting a read on the level change from Wagner as well. Starting to throw a bit more uppercuts here as these fighters come together.
Oh.
Fight's getting precariously close, or punches on the belt line as well.
Yep. Well, Herrera's doing a good job here. He's analyzed the data that's been put in front of him throughout these first 4 or 5 rounds, and now he's adjusted to it. He's soaked up to the resistance that Josh has for him, and now he's got Josh backtracking right now and taunting him.
Well, Josh now playing with him a bit as well as he connected with a strong right hand, stuck his tongue out at him, and
these are the ebbs and flows I love about watching Josh Wagner fights, because right here, we were saying earlier, I wanted Josh to relax a little bit and take some tension away from his body so he doesn't gas. And this is his way of doing it, because you know what? He's loose, he's having fun, he's on the balls of his feet, and he's landing his best shots now.
Loose was exactly the word I was going to use, as he's constantly moving, lateral movements side to side, keeping his flow loose and connecting with some strong shots. Massive uppercut there from Herrera, his best of the round.
Well, again, the challenge for Josh is, like I said at the top of the broadcast, he has to find a mix between being intense and having fun. Find that balance between the two. Like that. These guys are exchanging some vicious blows this round. I hate to be a judge.
These guys are just exchanging nonstop, and these aren't pitter-patter shots either. These are some heavy-duty blows, and a huge left hand there from Wagner. Uppercut from Herrera. They exchange right to the bell. What a round 5 in this title fight.
I hope these judges remember that it's not illegal to score even rounds, because I don't know, it doesn't get more even than that.
Both of these fighters exchanging, staying in the pocket.
These are the kinds of swing rounds like this, where both guys had significant moments where these are the kinds of rounds that dictate the outcome of a bout. who did you score that round for? Because it really can't go either way.
My goodness, it's so close.
These are the kinds of rounds that make for controversial outcomes.
Of course, love the looseness and the fluidity of Wagner throughout the middle part of the round, but you can't deny the success also that Herrera had at certain points. Had some nice connections, a nice uppercut in the mix as well. Plenty to digest from that round number 5, and it all gets compacted into one score for that round. And what do you know, we're only halfway through the fight. Round number 6, IBO America's Welterweight Championship. Nice jab there from Wagner. Lunging Herrera finds no success.
Josh now, he seems to have found a nice rhythm, boxing and moving here and pot shotting.
But he's found a nice rhythm from the outside.
He has found a nice rhythm on the outside, and just now now playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
He's a showman. He's very much a showman. Josh the boss is also a showman.
And I say that it's interesting that he's finding his success on the outside and allowing Herrera to take the center, because that's such a style that Josh would do himself, as being the aggressor.
It's another layer to his character, you know, because as much as Josh loves being the boss and taking it to a guy and establishing dominance, he also loves making a guy look bad and showboating and being a clown too, you know, and working the crowd as much as working his opponent. So
the diversity that we've seen in Josh Wagner's game in just 6 rounds, 5.5 rounds for that, is extremely impressive.
Yes.
He's done it on the inside, he's been the aggressor, he's done it on the outside.
And then these are the moments we can't ignore also. We can't ignore the moments when that crowd is quiet. When that crowd's quiet, it's because that's when Herrera's doing good work, like this. And again, ebbs and flows. And what I was saying earlier with Josh was when he boxes and moves, he keeps that head up though. He's doing some nice stuff when he's boxing and moving, but his head's up in the air. Like a lantern in a storm. I say it all the time. I say it because I have to say it, because
you say it because it's what you're seeing.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yep.
And now, I'm telling you, there's I don't know if Josh injured himself or something, or if he just oh my God. But Herrera though, these guys are leather and hammer and tongs here. My God.
Just exchanging.
But I'm telling you, Josh, so he's feeling some of those shots. He's a little hurt right. He's loading up because his legs are some steam taken away from his legs right now. He's planting his feet because he has to plant his feet.
Left hand snaps the head back of Herrera.
Round of the night. Round of the night. Easily round of the night right now.
5 seconds to go. Is there any more in it? What a round between these two fighters, and one after the bell for good measure. Getting a scolding from the referee is Williams Herrera. Some boos from the crowd as well, but you cannot deny the intensity and the entertainment in that round number 6. Yet another fantastic round in this championship fight.
Hard rounds to score. Hard rounds to score, but you know what? I'm looking at in a round like that where both guys had some big moments. Who would you rather be? And I gotta say, there's something changed in Josh's body language halfway through that round where he had a different look in his eyes that I didn't like. Even though he started planting his feet and exchanging, something tells me he didn't like what was coming at him in that round.
There was massive output in that round from Williams Herrera as well. I mean, Josh Wagner had his moments as well, landed some big shots. There's big shots throughout this fight, throughout that round, but the output level of Williams Herrera in that round certainly took an uptick. Through 6 of 10, this is round number 7 in this highly entertaining title fight. Tough one to score, and you know what? We might not even get to the judges' scorecards anyways at the rate this fight is going.
You know, this might become a tale of just who's not only who doesn't just give it better, but who takes it better.
There's been plenty of giving and taking from both sides. High intensity punches, high intensity blows as well. Snapping jab from Wagner. Herrera tries to respond with a left hook, just misses. Nice head movement here from Josh, trying to get away from the punches of Herrera, who stays busy.
Very nice head movement, and that's where Herrera got caught looking at the shoulder a little bit, trying to head on. If you can't find the head, go to the body. Get to the body. Well, the crowd is starting to feel the shift of momentum here. They're trying to egg him on and boost his spirits here, because I'm telling you, Herrera, this is a real fight tonight. Josh is in a dogfight. He's in a dogfight, and Herrera is now wilting under the fire that Josh has put out tonight.
Williams Herrera 15-1 on his record. #1 ranked Argentina in this division. IBF Latino champion.
Oh,
a huge punch there. Can Wagner follow up?
And is it enough? Is it enough? 2 shots in the whole round, and Herrera goes right back to work again, digging. He's got to do more.
Right left as well.
That reverse right hand jab is working for him. That reverse one too. Stick to it.
Final minute, round number 7. The pace does not slow in this fight. These two men continue to throw. He tries to go to the body but misses, then connects.
Nice uppercut.
And another right hand. Snaps the head back.
Josh is finding that extra gear. He's finding that extra gear, and he needed it. Those body shots from Herrera, boy, those body shots, that's what slowed down Josh's movement these last couple rounds, was those body shots. But when he gets those flashes, these flashes are important for Josh, because when he does land and let go, he lands the eye-catching blows.
These guys fighters or what? Continuing to exchange right to the bell. And right before that last exchange, wouldn't be able to hear it on the broadcast. Wagner says in tight to him, let's go. And they went for sure. The final 10 seconds, as entertaining as all the other seconds in the round as well. 7 in the books, 2 to go. And this championship fight has been championship caliber in every regard. Nice work here from Wagner. You see just the chin and the head snapping around of Herrera. Precision punching.
Well, it's just been one of those fights where, you know, one guy is rallying and scoring some points, and you think he's turning the fight around, and then just whenever you count the other guy out, boom, you know, the other fighter B comes roaring back.
Continuing to stand between rounds, Williams Herrera. Gas tank must be doing okay, if that's the case. Start here for Wagner. It's out of the way of the left from Herrera. There from Herrera though. Rises to its feet once again, getting behind Josh Wagner from just up the road in Orangeville, Ontario. Job getting out of the pocket, drops his head and comes over the top with a left hook that finds its mark.
He's managed to slow down the pace in this round, get back to boxing. That's okay. So far he's keeping Herrera at bay, hot-shotting him, minimizing those rushes from Herrera in this round and just scoring points. Scoring points, trying to maintain an edge on the scorecards, survive, control the bleeding from that nose.
In the center of the ring, halfway through round number 8.
Josh has to just keep those hands up. He's got to keep those hands up more. Whenever the fight drags on, when your athleticism is slowing down and fatigue is setting in, and you got to get to basics, get those hands up, chin. I say that. A surge of energy from Josh.
Those big shots connecting go right to the legs and hands of Josh Wagner. You can see every time he lands a significant blow, it's almost like a little mini energy boost to his next flurry. Fighting spirit within him. Cracks once, wants to crack again. There's a solid right down the middle. Hand over the top.
Josh is digging there. Josh is digging. He's sitting down on his shots, and he's responding to the resistance. He's rising to the occasion here tonight. And he's got a challenge. He's got a challenge in front of him, and he's responding like a champion.
Final 10 seconds, looking to leave a mark on the judges. Round number 8 is in the books. Entertaining just like the rest, and getting a round of applause from this crowd as well. 2 rounds to go to decide the IBO America's welterweight champion. Nice precision, the accuracy of the shots of Josh Wagner. We talked about no wasted energy in his approach to fighting and how intense he always is. Well, no waste of energy with such precision punches is important as well, and Wagner did a great job in that round of having his punches find the mark.
Never wasting energy when you're hitting a guy in the face. Energy well spent.
That's it. Right off his stool and on the balls of his feet is Wagner. Williams Herrera, as he has done, stood throughout the corner as well.
You know, the only disappointing part about this fight is it's flying by. We're already in the 9th round. Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely, a lot of contenders for fight of the night. This one, though, is certainly right up there, if not at the top so far, with still a main event to come. On the front foot.
Sweat flying on us.
I know,
now.
We're going to need an umbrella over here soon.
This is why guys like this had to stay home during the pandemic.
Oh, I'm glad those days are over.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, hearing the leather pop from beside the ring, that's why, as much as you enjoy watching it on TV, get your tickets whenever you can, because
this
hearing
is
the
living.
pop of the leather in the building, there's nothing like it.
Absolutely.
As entertaining as this is coming across on TV, you should see it live. Shelling up as the fighters come together.
And Herrera may need to catch a second win right now. This has been a grueling pace, and he has slowed down the output just a little bit these last couple rounds. It's allowed Josh the opportunity to make room for his pot shots again, because he's got time. He's had time to set up and get back into his comfortable rhythm. Catch the judge's eye.
Yeah. The accuracy of Wagner certainly will be catching the judge's eye. He's snapping the head back of Herrera time and time again. Nice block there from Wagner as well from the power overhand right of Herrera. He continues to try to move forward.
Herrera has slowed down a little bit, so with him slowing down a little bit, but now when he throws it, the attacks are a little bit more telegraphed now, so it's becoming easier for Josh to time. Josh can fight it. This pace right here, Josh can fight it all day.
Herrera perhaps recognizing that urgency now as he puts everything into that left, misses, almost stumbles through the ropes. Final 20 seconds, round number 9. Uppercut misses. A couple of shots connect for Wagner as they continue to exchange. Final 10 seconds, expect a flurry, and here it comes. Overhand from Herrera misses. Wagner can't quite connect either. Final few seconds, round number 9. Back to the corners they head. 1 round to go to decide the IBO Americas welterweight champion. The pace of Herrera slowing, the precision of Wagner remaining, perhaps swaying the recent rounds in his direction.
Absolutely. I think the last 2-3 rounds, Josh has assumed control and reestablished the pace and the rhythm that he needs to stay a step ahead in this bout, and he's made the adjustment from, you know, he came out early in this bout looking to score knockout blows and be the boss, and he's learned that tonight being the boss means that he's got to dance, so he started dancing. The bull and the matador, but tonight Josh is the boss by being the matador.
10th and final round for the IBO Americas Welterweight Championship. What a fight it has been. Expect these two men to leave it all in the ring at this point. 3 minutes to the finish line, and away we go. Herrera looking to take the center as he's done at times in this fight, but Wagner with some nice shots there, trying to back him up. Head movement of Wagner on point here as Herrera continues to throw. Guard up for Herrera as he stalks his prey. Wagner getting out of range, circling to his right, ducks under the left hand and eludes a couple more. Left jab from Wagner, that nice one on the belt.
Yeah,
oh, and that one connects up top as well. Herrera on the ropes, seems to be okay. Over the top with the right comes Wagner, response with the left from Herrera. Solid left hook there. Herrera shakes his head no, but that means yes. Wagner staying busy with the footwork and a huge left as well. Beautiful head movement opening up that shot for Wagner with the left hand and another. Follows it with the right.
There it is.
Looking for the power punch to finish it off, looking to separate.
You know, we were talking about this earlier on the card. Well, what is it? What makes a fighter established from prospect to contender? What are the tangibles that can make a fighter a star? These are the kinds of things that can make a fighter a star. Not just winning, but winning in fashion and closing the show. And Josh has that.
Herrera seems to be losing the legs from underneath him as Josh Wagner continues to pour on the pressure. We approach the final minute of the 10th and final round.
But
Herrera's firing back now.
Coming back with a vengeance. But to Wagner's credit, though, removing our emotions out of this here, he's defending most of those shots.
He definitely is. The guard is up, the head movement is there, though that one connects over the ear.
Yep. That might have hurt Josh a little bit. I don't know if Herrera realizes it.
Doesn't seem to be urgent here. Though with just 35 seconds to go, now is the time to leave it all on the line. Wagner with the left, and another. Final 30 seconds in this title fight. Oh, wow, combination. Herrera again tells him no, but Wagner connecting with multiple punches.
What a chin on both these guys tonight.
Ref separates, final 10 seconds. Wagner says, let's go. Let's finish with a flurry.
Amazing display of courage and character on both these guys tonight. What a show, what a finish.
Pedal to the metal. Josh Wagner has him against the ropes, and is that enough? Josh the Boss Wagner, Williams, Herrera, what a scrap, what a fight. 10 rounds to remember for sure. That was one heck of a tilt. What an unbelievable display between these two men. I mean, right to the final bell. The clap of the final 10 seconds. Josh Wagner said, let's go. Williams Herrera said, you got it. They met in the middle and they threw right to the final bell. That was 10 rounds of nonstop action and nonstop entertainment.
Main event quality, and the best thing is that we still have one more fight to go.
We certainly do.
Two main
this is a
events
tough
tonight.
act to follow.
Josh definitely left a tough act to follow.
Absolutely.
He left some big shoes to fill.
That's okay. What a scrap. And there's a belt to be wrapped around someone's waist. When the scorecards are read, it seemed like Josh Wagner had the edge in a lot of these rounds. What are you thinking headed to the judges' scorecards here?
I think Josh did enough to win. I have him, a few points ahead on my card. I gave Josh 6 or 7 out of 10 rounds, and you can argue maybe, 3 solid rounds for Herrera, maybe 1 even, and there's a swing round in there somewhere where you can call an even round. But at least minimum 6 rounds for Josh, 3 rounds for Herrera, 1 round even on my scorecard. But again, this game is subjective, and we don't know how the judges saw it. Everybody interprets fights differently. They have their own way of what they look for in a fight. What I looked for was who was going to establish the rhythm, who was going to dictate the pace, and who was going to make the adjustments and capitalize on the other guy's mistakes. And I just felt Josh did that a little bit more than Herrera.
Great embrace. Let's head it up to Carlos Verde for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, first off, Josh Wagner, Williams Herrera. What a co-main event. After 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Michael Fitzgerald scores it 100-90. Alan Davis scores it 97-93, and Steve Weisfeld scores it 99-91 for your winner by unanimous decision and new IBO America's welterweight champion, Josh the Boss Wagner.
I do have to say though, I gotta call this out. 2 of those 3 scorecards were extremely lopsided in my opinion. 99-91 and 190. That's an insult to the display of courage and character these fighters put out there tonight. You know what? I understand this is Josh's home, and this is his crowd, his city tonight. But that takes away from the courage and the character these guys put on, the action they gave us tonight. 97-93 is a fair score, but the other 2 scores takes away, doesn't do this fight justice, what we witnessed tonight.
Yeah, Williams Herrera deserves a bit better on the scorecards.
He deserved better on the scorecards than what 2 of those judges gave. But on the flip side, the right guy did win.
Correct, yeah.
And Josh answered a lot of questions for us tonight, but I think he more importantly answered a lot of questions about himself. He had some adversity. He responded to the adversity, found himself in a dogfight. He dug deep, had to bounce back from being hurt, readjust, and go from switch from coming forward to boxing and moving. And he did it, and he earned himself a 2nd regional belt in his career. Still undefeated, 16-0, and the future's looking bright.
You said adversity.
And he did it in style.
He did. You said adversity. I like the diversity in the game of Josh Wagner. He started out being the boss. He was the bull, pushing forward. But then at times in the fight, we saw him on the back foot, working from the outside successfully as well, counter-punching, head movement, that fluidity, that looseness that's had some success as well. So very impressive to see the diversity in the game of Josh the Boss Wagner, because we come into this one thinking it's just full steam ahead, pedal to the metal, the bull, the boss is going to come to the middle of the ring, but he showed he could work from the outside as well, and very effectively at that.
And that's what we needed to see. That's what we needed to see, and that's what I was calling out at the top of the broadcast is, can Josh temper that fire, control his emotions, and when he has to, mix up between having fun and relaxing and being intense, and he did that. There was some speed bumps along the way, but he did it and he found his way.
We still have the main event of the evening, and coming up next for the IBO Americas Super Lightweight Championship, Marvelous Mark Smither takes on Jose Gerardo Hasso, and this should be an entertaining fight. Hasso fighting out of Mexico, a 4-fight winning streak, the shorter fighter, but very physically imposing. We'll see these guys when they come out for the stare down, the physical imposing nature of Hasso. For Marvelous Mark Smither, this is a home fight for him, hometown guy, Barrie, Ontario, the Canadian Super Lightweight champion. Wants the pace early, he said, Marvelous Mark Smither. He thinks that both of these fighters tend to have some slower starts, so Mark looking for the pace early on. Tonight, a dream come true, fighting in the biggest venue in his hometown of Barrie, Ontario, Sadlon Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Sadlon Arena in Barrie, Ontario, this is the main event of the evening. Scheduled for 10 rounds for the vacant IBO Americas Super Lightweight Championship. Our judges seated at ringside this evening, scoring on a 10-point must system. From Ontario, Alan Davis. From Wisconsin, Michael Fitzgerald. And from New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. Your referee in charge when the punches fly, the third man inside the ring, Mr. Floyd Porter. And your IBO supervisor seated at ringside for this championship fight, IBO Vice President Iberoamerica, Senor Jorge Alonso. It's time to meet the contenders. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, La Esquina Azul. He wears the black negro. He weighed in at 138.5 pounds. His record as a professional, an exemplary one. 12 wins against 2 defeats with 1 draw. 5 wins coming por via del knockout. De Torreón, Coahuila de Zaragoza, Mexico, presentando Jose Gerardo Hasso. And now introducing his opponent across the ring. He fights out of the red corner and wears the black with the gold trim. He weighed in at 139.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign. 11 fights, 11 victories. He is the reigning Canadian Super Lightweight Champion, Barrie's hometown hero, Marvelous Mark Smither! With their final instructions now, referee in charge, Mr. Floyd Porter.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the changing room. I expect you to obey those instructions. Listen for my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Belt line is good here. Belt line is good here. Touch gloves now if you wish. Come out at the bell.
An electric vibe throughout the Sadlon Arena here in Barrie, Ontario, as their hometown hero, Marvelous Mark Smither, gets set to take on Jose Gerardo Hasso. We're underway, round 1 of 10 for the IBO Americas Super Lightweight Championship. Technical approach of Smither, the power punching of Hasso, something to keep an eye on in this one. Immediately noticeable is the height difference between these two fighters as well. Marvelous Mark Smither, the taller fighter. Of course, with that shorter stature comes a thicker stature.
I was going to say,
when competing in the same weight division.
Difference in height, but difference in girth.
Yes.
Also, Jasso is definitely built thick and sturdy at the weight. His legs are like little mini tree trunks for super lightweight. See, that's the key right there. Whenever he does try to get inside on Mark, as long as Mark stays tight and keeps his guard tight to his body, not giving the guy anything to grab and start wrestling, grappling, and then get back out of range again on that jab, then the ball is in his court.
Range will be an interesting battle in this one as well. Of course, Hasso needs to find a way to get inside. We've seen him do that a couple of times here in the first half of the first round.
This is what I don't want to see from Mark, though. See, he does when he keeps his arms tight to himself. Don't give the guy anything to grab and push him off with your forearms like that. That's fine. Don't start reaching out and trying to get into clinching and grappling contests. That's when you get yourself into trouble and you start getting sucked into the other guy's ugly fight.
Body shots exchanged. Smither and Hasso.
Nice lead right hand there by Mark.
And make him pay for entering that inside area. It's going to be important for Smither to do that all night.
And you know, I don't want to, nice uppercut. I don't want to see Mark stay inside, but when he is inside, be rough inside and fight your way out. Stick your forearm on the guy, shove him off, you bump him with your shoulder, make it uncomfortable for him inside.
Final 30 seconds, round number one, opening round of this 10-round bout. Nice uppercut there again from Smither, but a power shot over the top from Hasso. Left hook misses. Nice combination there from Hasso, though most of it is blocked by Smither. Circling away. End of the first round. Some positives for both fighters to build upon coming out of round number one.
But a good disciplined start for Smither. You know, doing what he needs to do, boxing behind his jab, being smart, shutting down the guy's offense inside, not giving him nothing to grab or manhandle or roughhouse to create openings where Smither can be vulnerable. Keep boxing him, keep sticking him.
Did a good job of getting Jose away from him. As Jose closed the gap, closed the range, got inside, but Mark would quickly push him away, trying to keep him that distance. It'll be the game within the game here in this 10-round boxing match.
Well, and what I would like to see Mark tweak to his game is keep doing what he's doing, but just a little bit more pop behind that jab. A little bit more of a forceful jab like that. Stick him a little harder. Make that jab more of a stiff arm. You know, discourage Jasso from wanting to come in. Don't just jab to score points. Jab to look. A jab can hurt too. A jab can hurt. You know, you can knife him with that jab. You can stick him with it. Nice uppercut.
Solid uppercut there.
It's a good weapon for Mark.
Footwork battle's an interesting one as well, as Hasso tries to get inside. Nice combination there. Smither able to get out of the way of the power return of Hasso.
That's what he's got to do.
Couple of whips to the body there from Hasso. Now goes up top.
You know what I like to see Mark add the nice little 1-2-3 throws up top, bring that left hook downstairs after, speed to the head, power to the body.
No one and dones from either fighter. Combinations coming from both of them. Looking to work that jab. Uppercut as well has had some success.
Well, again, what we're seeing early is Jasso seems to be able to generate more power behind his shots, but Mark so far able to effectively deflect that power and defend. And then, you know, his shots aren't as forceful, but they are accurate. They are accurate and they are sharp, and they're easy to see. And he's piling up points.
More exchanges there from both fighters. Now they engage. Shots to the body, see if the referee separates them or lets them work it out. Separate will be the decision. Nice combination there from Smither, though Hasso does a good job keeping that guard up nice and tight. Final 30 seconds, round number 2. Power shot from Hasso is blocked by Smither. They engage once again. Smither pushes him back against the ropes, but the referee separates them. Movement there from Hasso, includes the left hand. Nice duck there by Smither in return. Some nice defense from each of these fighters in the final 30 seconds of round number 2. Mark has a nice read on that left hook. He's able to duck underneath it. And for a taller fighter fighting a shorter fighter, it could be a bit of a challenge as well to get underneath that left hook. But Mark has been timing it nicely to get underneath that left hook of Hasso.
He's been timing it. He's been making the proper adjustments and doing what he needs to do to stay in control of this bout. And there's no question that Jasso has warmed up to what Smither has to bring, and he's bringing it. He's bringing it. He's coming with the heat, and he's letting his hands go. But so far, Smither's done a good job of staying composed and nullifying the attacks that Jasso brings, and then he ties him up, shuts down his offense, then he gets back to work outside behind his jab. And all boxing, Jasso, in these first 2 rounds.
Meet in the middle, getting set for round number 3. Referee says not so fast. A couple of eager competitors here ready to get to work. Round number 3, here we go. Immediately, Hasso looking for that power left over the top. Smither does a nice job of staying out of the way of that one. Crowd now getting behind the hometown fighter. There's Mark Smither from right here in Barrie, Ontario.
Well, again, Mark just has to keep it like this, keep it at a controlled pace. The crowd, you know, the crowd, the bloodthirsty fans, they want to see a firefight. They want to see a war, and this is where Mark has to show. This is maturity from Mark. Maturity from Mark, and not giving into his emotions and giving the crowd what they want, but doing what he needs to win and win in the most efficient manner.
Well, composure is always seemed to be a strength of Marvelous Mark Smither as well.
Absolutely.
So that should be something right up his alley. Yes, the emotions of the hometown crowd. I mean, we're all only human, but the composure that Mark Smither brings to the boxing ring every single time he steps into it is always on display. Solid work there from Hasso. Getting some solid shots in. Final one right up the middle, splitting the guard.
If I'm Mark, though, now on that outside, just to further discourage Jasso from coming in and letting shots go like that and leaving them go unreturned. It's one thing to defend, but don't just defend, and then don't return fire after, because it gives, when a judge sees an opponent throw 2 or 3 attacks, regardless of what landed, if those 2 or 3 attacks go unanswered, it gives the idea that he's in control. You know, fire back, and what I would like to see Mark add now on the outside to further discourage Jasso from wanting to come in is, don't just give him that jab. You've given him a good educated lead hand, but start putting that right hand behind him now too. Give him a 1-2 to worry about on the way in, or a double jab right hand, triple jab right hand, but just use both hands. Use a 2-fisted attack when you're outside controlling range.
Boy, Hasso got marched across the ring and put his back against the ropes and stayed there for about half a second before he immediately went forward.
That's what Mark's got to do. More combinations from the outside. Don't just depend on that jab. I know I said stick and move, but stick and move in combination like that.
Nice over the top right hand, gets acknowledgement from Hasso and a smile in response from Smither. Final 10 seconds, round number 3. Nice exchange here down the stretch. Hasso trying to close the distance. Smither circling now to his right. Stays out of the way of the power punches of Hasso, and we head to the corners. 3 rounds in the books. Nice elusiveness there by Smither. Not really much connecting for Hasso as well.
No, good lateral
Like
movement.
you said earlier in this night, those punches that find nothing but air, they can drain an opponent quicker than ones that find something at least.
Absolutely.
Good job by Smither there in that last replay package of making sure Hasso hits nothing but air. That stocky build. Don't want to get hit by those ones, so staying out of the way is certainly well advised.
Absolutely.
Round 4. Underway. Marvelous Mark Smither taking on Jose Gerardo Hasso. Rolling with the punches there was Hasso. Looked to be a solid right hand, but didn't seem to connect too strongly. Once again, staying out of the way is Smither, getting out of the pocket just in time. Left jab going to work for Smither now. Follows it with a right to the body, uppercut from Hasso. Nice jab keeping Hasso away, and a nice right as well up the middle. Excellent work here from Mark Smither to start round number 4. Power right hand over the top from Hasso. Few to the body now.
Well, that happened because Smither was backing up in a straight line. Don't get away from that side-to-side lateral motion. Keep this guy turning. Don't
Hasso
fight.
now backed against the ropes. Meeting in the center of the ring and exchanging, Smither and Hasso.
Mark just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Placing the shots, focus on accuracy, and paying attention to the basics, being defensively responsible. Just win, baby, win.
Defensively responsible is a good way to put it for sure. He's been doing just that. Using that left hand as well to keep range and picking and choosing his spots to throw combinations has been Smither. Also trying to march forward. Smither level changes, they clinch, and they'll be separated. Once again, quick clinch, now up against the ropes. Expect maybe a quick separation here. Will they let him fight it out? Yes, they do. Right to the body, left hand by Smither. Also can't find a home for that left. Smither continuing to stay on his toes.
Well,
20 seconds.
And Mark doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to run. Just sidesteps and be efficient with your movement. Move when you have to move. Just keep this guy turning. Keep this guy turning. Don't let him set his feet so he can load up. If this guy can't punch on the move, he can only punch when his feet are set. Don't let him get set.
4th round in the books. 6 to go. There goes Mark Smither doing a nice job of, like you said, Tony, being responsible defensively, but finding his spots to unleash some combinations as well. Hasso, full marks to him. He's doing what he can to get those power shots inside, but the defensive display by Mark Smither has been excellent.
Jasso could find more success in getting in the range and letting his shots go. If someone taught him it's not a sin to throw a jab, it's okay to throw a jab.
Yeah. Is the height and reach difference perhaps a little discouraging in that regard because it's so hard to get inside?
Yeah,
so once you do to
hey, you
be
know
able to
what?
reach?
Yeah, but Mike Tyson jabbed. Mike Tyson was a short heavyweight. You can jab. You can jab with the taller guy and match up. You know, and get you jab to get into range. Jab on your way in. You don't have to land the jab. You don't have to land the first couple jabs. Don't have to land, but at least they'll help get you in the range. And
Give
from
them
there,
something to think about.
something to think about, and then you're in range. Let your shots go.
Especially with such effectiveness defensively, you present different options or different puzzles, perhaps.
Like I know that, you know, looking at Jose Jasso, I know I'm not looking at a nimble float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type of fighter, but he can still use some craft and boxing acumen to his game to, and implement them in his game plan.
Ref lets them work it out from the clinch. They separate now. Quick jab there from Hasso. And right misses. Rip to the body doesn't connect either. Circling to his right. Also does a nice job to cut him off, but Smith says, okay, you cut me off, I'll circle to my left.
Yep.
Gets out of the danger zone. Backing up Hasso, who doesn't want that. He tries to spin. Nice job by Smither. Almost a little bit of a wrestling match there into the corner.
Oh, what he does though, smart move on Smither's part. When he gets inside, he doesn't give Joshua room to punch and work inside, but he ties him up, he smothers him, then he walks him to the ropes. By walking him to the ropes, you're still controlling range and maintaining ring generalship. And then you back out, ref breaks you up. Joshua has to start all over again to work his way back in the range.
Nice uppercut by Smither on that last exchange. It's a rise out of the crowd. It's right down the middle as well.
Another
Beautiful
uppercut.
head movement. Ability to duck under that left hand has been something that's been on display right from round one for Smither.
Ties him up, brings him to the rope again. Where the ref, they either break or they force the ref to break him from there. Oh, nice right hand.
That right hand connects. Also tries to respond with a combination. Stance change from Smither. Ducks under and engages, pushes him against the ropes. This will be a separation from the referee. Final 20 seconds of round number 5. Elbow warning from the referee to Hasso. Final 10 seconds. Tie up once again. Smither walks him to the ropes, separates, looks, they land a few shots. Final few seconds. Strong finish there from Smither. Been a nice performance for Marvelous Mark Smither so far. Defense has been on point, and the offense has been there when needed. Round awareness there from Smither at the end as well. Knew he had only about 5 seconds on the clock. Had him tied up, quickly separates, throws a few punches, tries to get something on the judges' scorecards before the bell hits. Halfway through this fight, 5 rounds in the books, 5 to go. The IBO Americas Super Lightweight Championship on the line. Marvelous Mark Smither, Jose Gerardo Hasso. Round 6. So trying to bully his way on the inside. Mark circles away. He takes the center of the ring.
Oh, nice right hand. Yep.
Finds a home for it. Right down the middle, uppercut and a left hook to the body as well. Nice combination there. Presenting plenty of options for Hasso to have to deal with. Mixing up the game, mixing up the attack is Marvelous Mark Smither.
Well, and that's where Smither can score a stoppage. It's not about loading up and how much power he's generating and how much energy he's putting into his shots, but just placing them, technique and placement. That's where Smither can get results and take the wind out of it like that, around the guard, behind the ear.
Excellent First half of the round for Smither, and he connects again.
Again, Smither is an example where, you know, on his best day, technique is power. Technique is power for Smither.
Technique has been on point here tonight. Power shots have come as a result as well. Right hand finds a home. Left jab keeps Hasso off balance a little bit as he tries to keep his head moving, but Smither's able to find a way to still connect.
What I like about Smither too is when he is boxing on the back foot, he's changing levels. You know, sometimes he's boxing behind the front shoulder. Other times he puts his hands up from a textbook position, moves his upper body. He never stays in one place for too long. And gives the guy the same picture. He changes levels, and then he turns and pivots. Just good consummate boxing, the fundamentals.
Final 20 seconds, round number 6. Also trying to find a way inside by any means necessary. Perhaps some frustration mounting in this round. Hasso unable to really get inside for those power shots that he needs to land.
And that frustration is what can lead to mistakes. It can lead to mistakes, it can cause Joshua to get reckless, and that's whenever Mark has a chance to catch him with something he doesn't see coming in. And you know what they say about the shots you don't see? Those are the ones that get you.
That's exactly right. 6 in the books, 4 to go. Keeping an eye on the corner of Hasso, seeing if the signs of frustration. Seems alert, attentive, listening to his corner's instructions. Some lunging attacks and just so many of these shots you're seeing Hasso throw and so little of them are landing. It's just natural to have to become frustrated with such little success rate with the punches being landed.
Mark has done a good job tonight of establishing his advantages in height and range and reach, and boxing off the back foot, always being in position to counter. Position to counter, punch and counter, and then move.
Round 7. The IBO America's super lightweight title on the line. Smither comes there with a solid shot to the body. Early clinch between these two fighters, a little boxing inside. And rolled with the punches, does Smither there. So now with Smither in a corner, but he's not going to stay there for very long. Makes some space for himself. Small uppercut inside from Smither. Left jab. Swing and miss rate is extremely high in this one for Hasso.
And even if that miss lands on the, you know, if it does touch, Smither always has, when one hand comes out, the other hand is always back by his guard to defend himself. You'd be surprised how many guys, you know, have that flaw with it. They get so when they're on, when it's offense, it's offense, and when it's defense, it's defense. But they don't mix their offense and defense. Smither does. When one hand is out, there's always another hand back in position to defend himself. Because anytime you throw a punch, you're taking a risk. You're always at risk if you're going to hit yourself when you're launching your own attack.
Nice body combination there, finished by a punch up top by Smither. Shots to the body, opens up the options to the head. Final minute, round number 7. Smither now throwing a few punches, they clinch up. Ooh, There's a left hand.
Punch on the break there.
Right. Now what's the etiquette there? There was no referee on the break. That's clean, no?
Yeah, ref let that one go. That was, it's referee's discretion. That's technically a foul. I mean, it wasn't I think it wasn't a particularly debilitating blow where it affects where the bout's going, but technically that was a foul. It's frowned upon.
Gotcha. Hasso's going to take any shots he can get at this point.
Absolutely.
Final 10 seconds, round number 7. Another impressive defensive round for Mark Smither. Backs up Hasso against the ropes. Final seconds tick away. 7 down, 3 to go in this championship bout. So at this point, what's the game plan for Hasso? I mean, it seems everything he's throwing on the table has just not been working.
Well, knockout.
It's difficult to change this late in the game, but he's got to do something.
It's difficult to change this late in the game. You know what? It would take just whatever you're doing, double up the intensity, and stick a jab at the very least to help make it easier to close the gap, and then just go for broke. That's it. Just go for broke. But I don't know if Josh. I'm looking at him right now in the corner. We don't see him on the cameras, but looking at him live, I don't see the energy.
Got his head rested back.
His head rested. He looks defeated.
Yeah.
Looks like he's content to maybe just finish this fight, go the distance. I don't know if he's willing or has the condition to find that extra gear to really amp up the intensity it's going to take for him to, because it would take a serious come from behind knockout.
The threat of the power is always there.
It's impossible to win on the scorecards at this point. The threat of the power is there, but the will to like, the will to rack up the intensity, to use that power. I don't know if Jasso is willing to do that at this stage of the bout. It's Mark's fight to lose. Nice right hand.
Sure, and I'm sure the corner and Smither himself very much aware of the desperation flurries that may result in the next 3 rounds. Be aware of the power, be smart defensively as you have been this entire fight. Smither backs Hasso up into the ropes. Exchange on the break. Strong left jab by Smither, staying out of the way of the counter as well by Hasso. There's a left hook that connects. Smithers responds with one of his own. From Smither, though the guard ate most of that for Hasso. Mixing it up top and down low is Smither now. That one finds its way through the guard. Head snaps back a Hasso. Tie up, referee will step in to separate. Left hook to the stomach for Smither. Quickly engages. Final minute of round number 8. See if an intensity picks up here from Hasso.
Oh,
clubbing
nice
right hand. That found a home over the top. The right hand of Mark Smither. Final 10 seconds, round number 8. Another strong round for Mark Smither. There's a flurry of exchanges here at the end. Hasso pressing forward, looking for any opportunity. Time will run out in this round, though. Mark Smither heads back to his corner, confident as always. An impressive performance through 8 rounds of this fight.
So far, a good display of discipline, composure, solid fundamentals, textbook boxing.
The defense leading to the offense tonight has been a theme for Mark Smither. The defense has been what's been the groundwork of his performance here tonight, and it's given him his opportunity to land his own punches.
Absolutely. It's been a study of Smither has been a study of discipline, consistency.
Round number 9. IBO America's Super Lightweight Championship on the line. Hometown. Barrie's own Marvelous Mark Smither well in control of this one. 6 minutes, 2 rounds to go. Does Hasso have a Hail Mary in the tank? Something to change the course of this fight. The defensive acumen of Marvelous Mark Smither so far has been the storyline. Not allowing Hasso to get much off power-wise, but Hasso's going to need to find a way to do something in the final 2 rounds of this fight if he wants to walk away with the IBO America's Super Lightweight title.
Well, the truth is you know, another thing that Joshua didn't implement in his approach tonight was body shots, an educated body attack. At the very least, when you get inside, you know, the rib cage, the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the biceps, whatever you get your hands on, bang that body. You've been headhunting all night, you know, trying to reach for the taller man's head, and there's been no. When you are inside, he hasn't created opportunities for himself to throw to the body, to break Smither's defense. It's been a crude approach where he's strictly been depending on sheer strength and brutish power, and that's not enough for the guy like Smither with Smither's amateur pedigree.
With the headhunting approach and how good Smither is defensively, that makes his job defensively all that much easier with the limited options coming his way.
Absolutely.
Gonna check a glove here. It looks like maybe some loose tape quickly. They're wiping something off. Some loose tape around the wrist of the glove. That'll be quickly cut off, and we should be back underway. Once again, Smither just displaying such precision, both offensively and defensively. Hasso swinging for the fences, not connecting, but pop, pop, pop. Smither connecting inside. Now box Hasso into the corner, gets a nice left hand on the exit, follows up with a couple more. Looking for a strong finish here in round number 9. Clinch up, pardon the clock being off. That quick tape in the corner adds a few more seconds to the clock. Final 10 seconds now, round number 9. Engage, separate now. That should take the final few seconds, though. Looks like Mark wants to get a couple more shots off. Quickly come together for an exchange, but we'll head back to their corners. 1 round to go, and Mark Smither remains firmly in control of this contest.
I have a shutout on my card, and we've been seeing each round, one after the other, has been mirroring each other. It's been just quite simply a tale of one guy knowing who he is and making the most of who he is. And that's Smither being fundamental textbook boxing, using the assets that got him here: jab, discipline, consistency, pecking and poking, pouring water on the smoking. It might be, and it might not be enough to put the fire out, but it's just enough to keep it from the flames rising and ensuring safety for Mark, and he's not putting himself at risk of extended exchanges or fighting the other guy's fighting and getting sucked into
10th and final round. Fantastic performance from Mark Smither so far. Can he cap off a shutout performance here in round number 10? Putting that jab out there. Hasso, of course, has to feel the sense of desperation. Expect a few flurries from him in this 10th round. Solid left cracking and another.
Nice 1, 2, 3. Again, like I said, he's not putting the fire out, but he's keeping the flames down.
Well, it's been 9 rounds of near perfection for Mark Smither. Why change anything now? Hasso will have to make some adjustments here and just go for broke. Smither will be aware of that as well, for sure. Separates, Smither gets his range back. Starts pawing that left out there. Hasso looking for a way inside. Rips to the body, rights and lefts is Smither. Nice return there to the body from Hasso.
Oh, nice liver shot there from Mark.
Once again, walking him back to the rope. Halfway through round number 10. Smither trying to stay busy. Also looking for any power punch that might provide the Hail Mary that he needs. Just hasn't had any success finding it. Smither now circles to his right, gets off the ropes quickly. Throws a couple quick shots to the body and backs his man against the ropes. Final minute, round number 10. IBO America's Super Lightweight Championship on the line. Looks to be destined for Mark Smither's waist unless Jose Gerardo Hasso can pull one out of the fire. 45 seconds to go. Crowd rises to its feet. Big exchange there from these two fighters. Pinch up now, walks him to the ropes once again. Referee will separate. Crowd starts to chant the name of Marvelous Mark Smither.
I think I'm hearing Marky.
That's it. 10 seconds to go. Final exchanges in this fight. 10th and final round. Smither and Hasso going blow for blow to the final bell, and that will do it. Marvelous Mark Smither with a fantastic performance and should find the IBO America Super Lightweight Championship belt wrapped around his waist as a reward. Shutout, 10-0. What do you think, Tony?
On my scorecard, yes, absolutely. And I would like to think that would be on everybody's scorecard.
I think that is the case as well.
This is the fight where you score a shutout.
That's right. Jose Gerardo Hasso, full credit to him. Of course, he came to fight. He came ready to engage. Look for those power shots, but the defense of Marvelous Mark Smither right from round 1 was stifling. Unable to get the quality power shots off that were needed was Hasso. Smither's defense led to his offense.
He just had too limited of a variety in his arsenal, Joshua did, to really find any success with a boxer like Smither. It's going to take a guy who knows how to have a little bit more craft and acumen in his game to be able to dissect a guy like Mark Smither.
Mark Smither, the Canadian Super Lightweight Champion, will add another belt either around his waist or over his shoulder. A well-deserved victory here tonight in front of his hometown crowd. A dream of his to fight at Sadlon Arena here, the biggest venue in his hometown. He's fought in his hometown before, but not in this venue. The fighters embrace the corners, the show of respect, the beautiful part of this sport. Two warriors go to battle, and now they hug it out after, and that will be your victor right there. Marvelous Mark Smither, 10 rounds of perfection in the main event here tonight for United Boxing Promotions.
But these post-fight moments we see between camps after the fight and acknowledging each other's efforts, these are the moments that humanize us, and we need to have acknowledged more moving forward.
Let's send it up to the ring for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, first off, let's hear it for Mark Smither and Jose Hasso, our main event. After 10 energetic rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Alan Davis and Steve Weisfeld both have it 100-90, while Michael Fitzgerald sees it 98-92. For your winner by unanimous decision and new IBO America's Super Lightweight Champion, Marvelous Mark Smither!
Marvelous Mark Smither, your new IBO America's Super Lightweight Champion. Perfection here tonight in his hometown of Barrie, Ontario. Defense on point, offense was crisp as well, and he put on a show. He put on for his city here tonight in Barrie.
Marvelous Mark Smither, your new IBO America's Super Lightweight Champion. First off, Mark, childhood dream realized tonight. You headline a show at the Sadlon Arena in your hometown. What did it mean to fight in front of this crowd tonight?
Thank you so much, Barry. Will you have a good night tonight? Right on. Thanks to everybody that came out. This community and the people in it are what matters. Thank you to my family, my friends, all the sponsors here tonight. Couldn't do this without you guys. So, you know, we had a great main event, great co-main event with Josh the Boss, and you know what? Thank you, Barry. Appreciate all the love.
Mark, talk us through that 10-round scrap. Jose Hasso came in here to bang tonight. What did you make of your performance against a pretty sturdy Mexican opponent?
You know what? He had some pop on his punches, and you know, I was just trying to stay clear of the left hook and the left hook to the body. So, you know, we followed the game plan, and we got the decision here in Barrie. So, thanks everybody. Appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing. Couldn't do it without you.
Marvelous Mark Smither, your new IBO America's Super Lightweight Champion.
Mark Smither delivers for his hometown crowd. United Boxing Promotions, another great night of fights here tonight, this time in Barrie, Ontario. 6 fights on the card, 6 fights delivered top to bottom. It was a fantastic card, 2 title fights as well with some excellent performances. This was another great night of fights put on by United Boxing Promotions. We're spoiled once again to have the best seats in the house for this one.
We're spoiled, Ontario is spoiled, and this athletic commission is getting the most work it's had in years because United is keeping their fighters busy. They're keeping the fans busy, constantly putting out exciting content, great action-packed fights, evenly matched bouts, and we're in for a treat. And honestly, I think when we look back on this one day, years from now, this is going to be a special time in Ontario boxing history.
Top to bottom, this card delivered. Standout performance here tonight. Can you pick just one, whether it's an individual or a fight? What stood out here tonight for you, Tony?
Josh Wagner. Josh Wagner stood out for me tonight. I think he showed a little bit of everything. He showed that he can temper some of that fire he's got inside him, and he showed he can box, he can adjust, he can respond to adversity and bounce back from being hurt, and still put on a show and close it out in style, in fashion, and not only maintain his record but maintain his form and his image that he likes to project out to the public too. His brand, you know, he did all of that.
Brand was on point tonight.
The brand was
aggressive.
Aggressive, flashy, you know, fiery. He showed character, but he showed composure when he had to show composure too. As a fan, I really enjoyed. As a fan, not just as a critic, but as a commentator, but as a fan, I enjoyed watching Wagner's fight tonight.
Let's not forget about Kisu Lee as well. The knockout here tonight of Cody Kelly. Knocked down in the first round, TKO in the second round. 2 vicious shots that dropped his opponents. Those are the type of highlight reels that these boxers are trying to build.
Great introduction into Canada on Su Lee's part. and showing one-punch power. Impressive one-punch power, especially in a smaller weight fighter. And I look forward to seeing him again. I want to see him get more rounds and see what else does he have in the toolbox other than quick one-punch power.
It was a great night of fights here at the United Boxing Promotion at Sadlon Arena in Barrie. September 9th, the next card, Pickering Casino Resort. Take August off. Let's enjoy the summer. We'll be back in September for a great night of fights once again. For Tony Lightning, Lewis, Shane, Hollinshead, and our crew here, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a blast calling it from the best seat in the house. We'll see you next time, September 9th in Pickering. Keep an eye out for tickets online. You don't want to miss it live, but if you do, we got you covered on TV as well. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night, everybody, and we hope you enjoyed the show.